Okay, I think I'm live. Whoops, let me move my mic. All right, I'm definitely unmuted today. Thankfully. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace, wherever you are. I did check in briefly on Grace yesterday on Kick. They were live doing something. I don't remember. I was really out of it last night, to be honest. What's up, Hurricane? I also watched the Jedi, but I don't remember what happened on the Jedi channel either. Yeah, I really got cooked last night. VP streamed, typical VP stream, and also I don't know why I said okay. I was watching Alex Jones, and I had it like minimized, in the little window on your phone, like the picture in picture or whatever. And the next thing I know, I was seeing a video of Vegan Patriot sitting on a cake. So she had like a big chocolate cake. It looked like maybe in Purple's backyard or something. And then she just sat on the cake, but it was really surreal because I was watching Alex Jones in the mini window. So it was like a really weird, like, collab. It was like a weird mini collab. But anyway, yeah, Bethadone had at least two great streams yesterday that I watched. She was really amped up without question. Savvy Guy's been doing cologne reviews. I think we might have to watch one of those sometime. But I think that's it. I think that's all the news I have for you. Yeah. Did I find anything else? Oh, the video from yesterday. Obviously, we didn't get the stream didn't get taken down, so that's good. We could watch OVW. WWE claimed it after the fact, which I don't care. But Hurricane said that there was like a bunch of ads on it. I went in. There's nothing I can do about that really, but I did go in and remove as many of the copyright things as I could without like altering the actual matches themselves. So there is some. I did go back in and like scramble some of the music, and I erased some of the like commercials. The WWE commercials got claimed. So I don't know if that'll make a difference in how many ads you see, but it's just kind of like a trade-off. If we're gonna watch the stuff like that, it's gonna get copyright claimed like after the fact, and so. But that's true of pretty much everything we watch on here. Very little of this stuff comes out the other side like not with like 100 copyright claims. But I'm sorry if it's got a bunch of ads. I did what I could do to try to make it, hopefully maybe reduce some of the ads, but I don't even know if it works like that or not. Anyway, we were talking about on Monday cryonics, and so I got freaked out about it. And so I saw this episode of Morton Downey Jr. about cryonics, and I thought we have to see this. So let's just jump into it. I don't know what's the date on this one. That doesn't say. But this is Morton Downey Jr.'s episode on cryonics. Well, what gets me, Hurricane, is that they claimed a commercial. They claimed a commercial telling you to come to some stadium. It wasn't even like it was a wrestling match. It was just a commercial for WWE. It was so weird. But they claimed like, I don't know, there was at least like 15 to 20 WWE claims, then like 10 claims from like the copyrighted music the wrestlers came down to. But at least they left the stream up, so that's something. Your poop is copyrighted by Cadbury.
Cryonics. It's the art of freezing a dead body that got sick and died and holding it until you find a way to cure it. Now, this could be Mrs. Green, all right? Or that could be Zebra Davis, and this could be, I don't know. This could be a disco, and these people are coming back to dance in a minute. All I know is it's cryonics. You're going to find out more next.
This could be Zebra Davis. Hey, BB. Oh, Pomp Flair. What's up, man? I love this walk-in. In Search of, I don't know if we can get away with that one, but I would definitely be down for it. Isn't it kind of old by now? Maybe they don't watch it. They don't look for it anymore.
Hey, tonight. Zip it. Tonight, gang. Tonight. Zip it. Tonight I got a real live one for you, all right? Well, maybe a dead one. Actually, one of my guests would like to have his head cut off. Another performed open heart surgery at the age of 16. And most of these guys think they can freeze sick bodies for years, hundreds of years, as a matter of fact, if need be, until cures are found. And then bring back these sick, frozen Dairy Queen bodies to life, all right?
Dairy Queen.
You believe that? Well, let's meet...
Dairy Queen. Oh, boy.
Let's meet our first frozen head case. Dr. Abby Ben Abraham, President of the American Cryonic Society. Come on.
Oh, here we go.
Dr. Abraham, tell me.
Yeah, South to West. I found that playlist, man. Wow, 150 episodes. I think it's worth a shot. We can give it a shot. You know what would be good is when we do the next episode of the, like, learning about UFOs and shit like that, we'll just watch one of those at the end. And that way, if it gets messed up, we can just clip it off the end of the episode and we know. But if it plays fine, then we know we're good.
In 50 words or less, what exactly is cryonics and what you hope to do with it?
Cryonics is considered freezing the human body in liquid nitrogen, which is minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit, with the hope of bringing that body back to life sometime in the future when medical technology will have advanced to that level.
All right, so we have found in this century frozen dinosaurs, behemoths in the Arctic area that are perfectly preserved in glaciers and ice. Why then, if these were, and they say they were instantly frozen within seconds, some of them have food that they were chewing still in the middle of their throat before it had dropped all the way in, indicating it was a matter of seconds when they were frozen. Why can't we bring these animals back to life?
Well, we might sometime in the future if we'll possess the technology.
But we have to...
And yes, I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday. Yes, it was a real rotter day for me yesterday. I don't think I went anywhere.
Possess the technology to cure the illness or to bring them back to life? Which?
Both technologies. When people are frozen, they all have died from a disease that is incurable today.
Well, not necessarily those behemoths, though. They just died from being frozen.
They died from a disease of aging, or they died from
something.
something.
No, sir. They were walking along.
Who's Amanda?
Eating some crap, right? All of a sudden, big ice wave, they're dead, frozen. Now, they had no illness other than the fact that they were stupid and walked in the cold, right?
Well, if they were smarter, they would have been frozen in liquid nitrogen. The outside temperatures are not that cold, and therefore they were not preserved. Liquid nitrogen is so
they were
cold.
Preserved. They are still completely preserved.
He has kind of like a Bond villain vibe. Oh, Amanda hug and kiss? Yeah. Is that a Simpsons thing?
2 million years later.
That's right, but they've biologically died. Their cells have degenerated and deteriorated. At this point, we don't know how to bring them back to life. Right. What we are doing is freezing tissues and cells and organs and whole bodies at such cold temperatures. And all experts in the field...
I was kind of curious if Mort would look at this like you were kind of doing something that was kind of out of... trying to subvert God's will. You know what I mean? I didn't think he would be too in favor of it. And when I was thinking about it, it reminded me of that old show, All in the Family. There was an episode where Meathead and Archie went to the blood bank to give blood, and like Archie didn't understand that, like, he thought that like black people had to give blood to only other black people, and white people to white people, and so on and so forth. And Mike was explaining to him that like the human body is like a machine, and that like it doesn't matter, what you're putting into it, because all the parts on the inside are the same. And he compared the heart to a water pump, and Archie Bunker had like a complete breakdown about it, and he's like, comparing the human heart to a water pump. So I thought that was like the angle he would have here, probably.
Agree. that at minus 320
What the fuck is Daniel Romano Productions?
degrees Fahrenheit, there is so little molecular
that just a
motion
chatter?
that decay is
Or is
essentially
he bankrolling
non-existent,
everybody?
and we can come back to those tissues or bodies in 100 years from now, and the aging process will have been stopped.
All right, how many years do you think it's going to be before we are freezing, and I believe you call it reanimating bodies. So we don't say that people die, they become deanimated, all right? How long before these deanimated things become reanimated things?
I'm not here to present cryonics as the solution to our illnesses. I am confident in science and in the human mind, and I hope that it will take us a short period of time, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. However, the beauty of the
In the
concept...
span of history, that's very short.
Yes. The
He's
beauty
friends
of
with
the
you,
concept
but you
is
wanna-
that there is
you
no
wanna
pressure of time.
do something
We're
the hard
freezing
way with
people in
his
today's
other
techniques
friend?
that are rather primitive, I admit it. There is a long way to go, but
3
we're
videos
planning
per
to bring
row,
them
let me
back
see.
to life.
Now,
If our
people are
research-
already frozen, am I correct?
That's right.
How many people are already frozen?
There are 26 people worldwide.
20?
We want to bring them back with the technology of tomorrow, and tomorrow can be as long as needed.
Don't you have a producer of a famous television show? What was that
Oh,
television
wow.
show?
Well,
I don't know, but I was looking, and no, on my mobile thing looks the same. I don't know what you're on, but I noticed the video came up in my algorithm called Pink Frequencies, 17 views. It's an Asian woman singing a song called I Need a Break from Love. I've got to add that to my list.
there are rumors that Walt Disney has been...
I'm the
I
first
know he's
like.
not. He hadn't had it done. There's a All in the Family or some show. Some producer had himself frozen, left $20 million to the organization, someone get frozen.
I
What do you
wish
do?
that was true.
Hoping to come back and find his ratings were better or something?
That's right.
Now, you did open heart surgery at the age of 16, am I correct? And you were a fully accredited medical doctor at the age of 18. So you are, by all
Wow.
accounts, a medical genius. What
Doogie
did you
Howser.
operate on at 16?
I started medical school when I was 16 and a half and went through 6 years of medical school in 11 months. I did my training in a hospital.
And I know a lot of doctors who take care of you like that's all they've had in school, too.
Well,
But you're apparently not one of them.
thank you. I guess what I do now in cryonics is a product of my growing up in some way faster
What are you watching on ATF Media?
than others. I always wanted to deal with the greatest of challenges in life. Dealing with one disease today, be it cancer or heart disease or AIDS, seem to be important today. But if you compare it to the range of history, it is a very temporary concept.
Let me introduce a gentleman
Also
who
like
is
on
the
a
Bergen County
browser.
coroner. That would be Dr. William Ober. Dr. Ober?
Thank you.
How are you, sir? Let me ask you a question.
We prefer the term medical examiner.
Hobner?
Medical examiner, not
Oh,
coroner.
medical examiner. I'm sorry, sir. A medical examiner as opposed to coroner.
That's right.
Let me ask you a question, sir. You've just heard
This couple here might be one to watch. She's already like trying to get him to stop clowning around when the camera's on him.
Dr. Ben Abraham talk about the idea of cryonics. Now, has maybe his brain been caught in some of that liquid, whatever you call it?
No, his brain is not frozen, but I would like to find out the specifics of the technique you propose to use or are actually using.
Well, you're a coroner, so you must be familiar with...
I am not a coroner. I'm a medical
I'm
examiner.
sorry, a medical examiner.
Wow. Look, they love it, man.
Avi, I made the same mistake. Don't worry.
We
Hurricane Paro, no. Amanda Hugginkiss is not the real person,
are
unfortunately.
trying to halt the process of death.
But ATF Media knows someone else. Her name is Phyllis that might have some answers. Fill us a glass of water.
At the clinical level. Death is not a moment, but a process, a pathophysiological process of systems shutting down that occurs over a period of time. When a person is declared dead, the coordination of the organs has ceased to exist. But the tissues, the cells, and the organs are alive, and very much so. In fact, the proof is that right now, organs are being used for transplantation after clinical death. So we are trying to get to the body soon after clinical death, lower the temperature of the body so rapidly.
You have not answered my question. What technique do you use?
This
Trade
is
secret,
our
I'm
technique,
afraid.
getting to the body right after clinical death.
What does right after clinical death mean? 2 days, 2 hours, 2
No,
minutes?
no, it has to be done within minutes. The sooner, the better. There
You
have been,
freeze the body, is that correct?
we
I can't rule it out. Phyllis Hyman, yeah.
start the chilling process right after that. The first thing to do biologically
Well,
is
man,
to...
when you croak, the chilling process starts
croak.
anyhow.
We have to maintain blood flow and oxygenation of the blood, and then we start the chilling process. Simultaneously, we replace the
Is there a hug and kiss Discord we can join to talk to her?
blood of the
Or
patient
do we have to go to Danny Romano Studios?
with a blood substitute that we have developed
boy,
and
the big
tested
cat's up on the
in animals
table now.
that contains cryoprotectants. Those are chemicals such as glucose or glycerol that animals, frogs for instance, produce in the wild to prevent freezing damage to their cells. May I finish? Then we start lowering the body temperature to 0 degrees in dry ice, to minus 100 degrees in liquid nitrogen vapors, and to minus 196 degrees in liquid nitrogen. And at this temperature, there is very little decay, and all experts agree that aging that would normally
Doctor,
take...
I'd like to ask him a question, too, that I think you probably would like to ask. What about if the good doctor and I decided we're healthy right now, knock wood, we want to see if your system works, so you can come in and kill us and do all of these things. Can you then bring us back?
No, that is illegal, because you have
What
to...
if we made it legal? Could you bring it back?
That would be interesting to try, but you
Oh,
see, we
my
are...
God. Oh, but look at him. That's it. Rip, rip. Oh, man.
There are hundreds of cases of people that were brought back from clinical death up to 55 minutes from the time it occurs.
Now,
It's
wait a
common procedure,
What is
cardiopulmonary
this
resuscitation.
blood
That's got nothing to do with freezing, though.
substitute that you insert into the vascular system?
We use cryoprotectants such as glucose and glycerol.
But do they carry oxygen?
They do not carry oxygen.
Then if they don't carry oxygen, you have brain death within 5 minutes.
That's not true.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jerry Artis. I'm from the Chronic Society of New York.
All right, sir.
Okay, now, on my hand is
Have
a
you
break.
been frozen and brought back?
No. Not yet.
You look like you may have. Please, let's hear the gentleman.
You look like you're already frozen. Look, this guy comes with his own mini Tony Schiavone guy.
Let's hear the gentleman. Wait a second, let's hear him.
The cryonics organization I'm a member of gives us these are medical alert bracelets. Now, what that does, it tells the paramedics at a hospital.
I'm sure when you're in rural Louisiana, they've got, Arkansas or wherever, they've got all of the needed things to get you frozen within enough time. Come on.
The guy's got
If something
good eyes,
happens
it
to
does.
us, well, they have to call that number there, but it tells them the initial procedure to take if one of us deanimates. I'm not selling. That's mine.
one of you
What is the
deanimates?
initial
Yes.
procedure to
Now,
take?
what the
Kent does have a Morton Downey look. Man, I love Kent and Will, like their back and forths. Ugh.
the first thing they do.
Don't you think Kent is the kind of guy that you never see on reality shows anymore, ATF media? Like, he was just such a real dude, I thought.
The first thing they do is they put heparin into the body to stop the blood from coagulating.
Put heparin in.
Then you maintain the body on a heart-lung resuscitating machine or
Now,
through
wait a
CPR.
minute. If you inject heparin into somebody who's just died, the heparin doesn't circulate.
Well, you didn't let me
Through
finish.
CPR, it circulates, though.
You do CPR and you push the heparin in, and it circulates the heparin.
That's why we use a thumper, Doctor.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to go to the next segment, and then we'll come back to the long and short of it, all right?
This
Another
is the
television
greatest night
quiz.
in the history of Morton Downey. That'll put butts in seats.
Should your
What's
name
up,
be on
TJ?
this envelope? It should if you or someone you love is age 50 to 80, and it will be addressed to you if you call now for this important information. Free information about a life insurance policy designed especially for men and women aged 50 to 80. Life insurance with no physical examination and no medical questions. Because of a limited benefit period, you cannot be turned down for any reason. And your premium will be $6.95 a month and will never increase. Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company wants to send you the important information in this envelope, and it's free. So if you are age 50 to 80 and thought it would be difficult to buy life insurance,
I was hoping it was Publishers Clearinghouse.
Now, here's the number.
For free information in the mail, call 1-800-441-2626. This is a free call. 1-800-441-2626.
It's Bay Ridge President birthday celebration. It's my birthday too, so you save even more.
We're making history at Bay Ridge with deals only presidents can make. Over 2,000 cars available at our 7 Bay Ridge showrooms. Your car priced to go, ready to roll. No one beats these deals. Now at your Bay Ridge family of dealers.
Save at Bay Ridge President birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me. And we deliver.
Hey, come down for a car and a pizza.
When it comes to betting, come to Hillside and leave the rest to us.
We are the East Coast's biggest betting chain. And right now, during our 4-in-1 sale, you can get a twin size.
You know, guys, if you think about, you start thinking about being frozen and, you know, the things you're going to miss out in the future and mortality and existence and all that kind of stuff, it can make it hard to get, you know, to get a restful sleep. But if you visit Hillside Betting, you'll get a good night's sleep every night, especially if you visit them during their February clearance event where they have a 4-in-1 special. You get the mattress, the box springs, the frame, and they'll even deliver it all for one at regular ticket prices.
Size Sealy mattress, box.
Use code SPREADCHEEKS to save 10% at checkout.
Spring, frame, and delivery, all for just $89. Full size are only...
You're going to stretch Amanda's booty? Wow.
$139.
Is that historical?
And queen size sets are just $100.
Or is it just kind of, you know...
$69 with frame and delivery.
Come to Hillside and leave the rest to us.
Hey, gang, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about the Morton Downey Jr. show. Maybe even said I'm mean, nasty.
Well, Lawler is getting paid. He owns the furniture store.
Rude, sometimes arrogant. Well, a lot of these people have only seen me on television. Now I dare them to come down here to Channel 9 and be a part of the Morton Downey Jr. Show studio audience.
To be a part of Morton Downey's studio audience, send a written request to Tickets, 9 Broadcast Plaza, Secaucus, New Jersey, 07094. Transportation for the Morton...
I do like that I don't get banned off of YouTube. That's nice. I would have been banned I get banned once a month on Twitch.
Downey Jr. Show furnished by Quality Limousine Service. When in New Jersey,
Listen,
call
Jay,
201-785-9071.
Breeze coffee, not people. Just random Addams Family.
Ellie! Yeah, I'll tell you, it's freezing.
I saw the Tony Atlas one with Tommy Rich. I haven't seen Vader and I haven't seen Billy Graham.
Freezing in the studio tonight. We're going to introduce another guest who has joined us at home base.
They told the story about Wildfire taking Atlas to the KKK meetings.
His name is Irving Rand, and Irving Rand is, I believe, the head of the East Coast branch of American Cryonics. Is that
yes,
correct,
I am,
sir?
yeah.
Now, as head of that organization, what do you do for ACS, and how strong is your membership on the East Coast?
Well, we have a very small membership. I wouldn't say that our membership over the country is strong.
People dying to get in your organization?
No, people die to get into cemeteries. They don't die to get into our organization. But I like to say what I do and, how I got involved in cryonics.
All right, if you can do that in 30 seconds.
I can do
Hey,
it
it's
in
me.
a couple of seconds. And
All right,
I was out in California. I'm an insurance agent, and I was out there for a seminar on insurance, and I looked into cryonics. This is about 5 years ago, and I found, well, first I could tell you later what I saw when I was out there, but I would dare say that if people here found that there was a disease that was going to sweep the nation, and they discovered that a couple of scientists in the United States.
Like, I wouldn't even mind. Somebody said that they were on Daily Motion with commercials. I don't know, though. I completely forgot to check that out.
Who knew about this disease were taking a certain kind of pill.
But like, I would watch ads or whatever on them. I just don't want to pay like per episode for something that I'm only going to watch one time and will be everywhere within like a week.
And they didn't know about the pill, but they like to learn about the pill. Well, let's put it this way. If it saved their lives, I think...
Glacier, the old wrestler. I watched a movie. He was the lead in a movie I watched the other day. He was awful. I don't know what they were thinking.
They like
Okay,
to,
you told
they like
us
to
in
know
30
about
seconds about a pill.
Well, I'd like to say this. I discovered that
My VCR is
some
frozen.
of the top cryobiologists in the country, people who work with freezing and thawing organs and thawing embryos, and you know, there are children running around today who were once frozen embryos. When you find that these scientists themselves are signed up to be frozen when they die...
Children are running around today who are frozen embryos.
Well, that happens to be a fact, and I think you know it as well. But some of the top...
This guy just dissed this guy in such a relaxed Jake Roberts casual conversation kind of way while sitting like right next to him.
Scientists in the country are signed up to be frozen when they
Well,
die.
I know there are
Always
sperm
been
banks
awful.
and things like that. I donate to them all the time.
All right, and there...
But Elvis and I do that. But so I know those can be frozen.
Yeah, so I'm signed up myself because...
You sell insurance for ACS, right?
I do.
Was this maybe a way of getting some new business for yourself?
It could be, but I'll tell you something. I became personally involved in cryonics before there ever became a connection having to do with insurance. And now
How much does it cost for that insurance?
Well, I'll tell you what the insurance policy pays.
All right, tell me what it pays and what it pays for.
It pays $125,000, and that pays for someone to have an operation to put them in the condition that Dr. Ben Abraham discussed, and to put them into a stainless steel capsule. That's about $45,000, and then $80,000 of that goes into a trust fund, the interest of which at $5,000 at 5% pays for ongoing maintenance indefinitely.
Interest of 5%?
No. We want to assume a modest interest. Anything that's above that, of
that's
course.
modest.
No, well, we don't. First of all, there are trust officers.
Corporate mismanagement in today's market.
The idea basically...
Here's what I don't understand. How the
it's...
hell can I trust someone to unfreeze me 300 years from now when they discover a cure?
The whole discussion about money is irrelevant. The American Cryonic Society is a non-profit organization. We are motivated by the desire to change the conventional thinking in medicine and the course of mankind. There is a cost involved. We're getting...
Can somebody look that up, the American Cryonic Association, and see if they're still around? See if this guy ever got thought out?
Nothing out of it. We are
scientists. You get no pay?
Zero payment.
Zero pay?
Zero payment.
How do you make your money, doctor?
Private sources.
Private sources?
Yes, but not through the American Cryonic Society.
I'm a scientist. None of your money comes from dealing with cryonics?
Zero.
Zero from dealing with
We are not
cryonics.
allowed.
I specify the word cryonics. Zero from cryonics. Okay?
Zero.
You, sir?
Two zeros. I lost money in cryonics. I make no money in cryonics.
You made no money? No. Well, then this is very admirable. I've got to ask you a question.
Sure.
How much will you leave when you die?
Well, I have a life insurance policy for my wife and children, and they have... I believe in life insurance, and I provide people with lots of life insurance outside of cryonics. In fact, there's only that's not your business, but they'll be well taken care of.
Let me go.
You don't want to share your personal information?
Let me introduce at loudmouth number one, Jerry Arthur, who's director of the New York Cryonics Society. Jerry, I understand you now are with that society, and I am overjoyed to hear that you boys are setting up an emergency
website frozen
team.
since the 90s.
Just what the hell is an emergency
Maybe maybe the money that was put in the trust, the interest on it has continued to keep the website up.
stabilization.
Well, I could have gotten into
Hey,
this
Joe.
before when the medical examiner was arguing that he didn't know what we were doing. But there is a procedure for arresting just about all metabolism in the body after the body deanimates. Now,
As well as biological death.
The main thing we're worried about.
Hey, Joe, did you see Bethadone invited me up to Canada to make some forbidden IRL?
Is the brain, because any damage to the rest of the body can be repaired probably very easily with the technology that's going to be available.
But the brain is where the problem is.
The brain is like a floppy disk. That's what stores your consciousness and your memories. So we're interested in arresting any possible metabolism that can occur in that brain that would erase the memories. Now, it's a well-known fact that people can live.
The brain does much more than store
Look at
memory,
the little
by
guy.
the way.
He's so cool.
The brain is merely the
This is like Ben and Lalo.
organ in the body that does store information.
That directs
That little
every
guy
other
is
organ
so
in the
cool,
body
man.
also.
Well, certain parts of the brain direct certain parts of the body in an automatic fashion. That would be very simple to repair.
Yeah, I came in on the middle of her talking about me, and then she like waited on stream for me to go back and watch it, and then she cut like a big promo putting me over. Oh, look at this guy.
Okay, listen. Now, I don't know how plausible all of this is, in theory or in practice, but I'd like to say just one thing, and I'm going to make it brief. If all the people that they're going to reanimate are like you guys, I'd rather die.
Yeah! Woo! Based. Based.
Let me come back to Jerry. Let me, if you will, please, come back to Jerry. Now, picture this, Jerry, with me, if you will, please. You're alone with your lover on a Polynesian island of paradise.
I completely forgot about the Minnesota Iceman, south to west. This is deeper. The interest in cryonics on this channel it's been there the whole time. We're just now starting to chip away the ice on the surface to get to the meat of the issue. No pun intended, since we found out that the Minnesota Iceman's meat was not what you would expect from someone of that height.
The ocean, the sky, the sun, perhaps a beautiful little breeze. And you're standing there, all of a sudden you get this pain in your
Brad
shoulder.
Garrett.
All right? It runs down your arm, into your fingers, crushing pain in your chest. You drop down. What the hell's the chick gonna do that's with your head off and freeze it?
Well, you wouldn't want to cut the head off before you prepared the body.
That's what the support team.
Maybe she prepared the body the night before.
Excuse me?
Maybe she prepared the body the night before.
Well,
What's she gonna do?
If you put these chemicals in your body, you would lose consciousness if you were alive.
All right.
You know something?
If you're dead anyway.
Don't you believe in cutting the head off and freezing that?
I personally...
I'm basically
Now,
signed
let me
up.
hear the little guy. He starts his.
Oh, and Trigger Man was in her chat too last night. He was trying to get Bethadone to panel with Grace.
I got something to say.
Cheer for the little guy.
Yo. Zip it up.
Okay, babe, stand up and talk.
Look at this guy. Here we go. Let's go.
Okay. Mort, the reason...
Sit down, dude. Oh, my God.
The reason why I'm signed up to be suspended is, what is the other alternative? Simple.
Did you sign up for the whole body to be suspended?
Yes,
just your head?
just the whole body.
No way.
The whole body.
Are you serious? Someone made an expose on Trigger Man?
Who signed up to just have their head done? You? You signed to have your head done? Let me
What
ask
did
you
he
a question.
do?
How much does it cost you for your head to be frozen?
$35,000.
$35,000 for the head? $150,000 for the body?
It's $100,000
Are
for the
there any
sign-up.
special parts of my body I can get frozen for 15 bucks? Hey, how long can a human body really live? We're going to ask these gentlemen that question in just a moment. Stand back.
Well, okay, this is going back a ways. I mean, but wasn't whenever he was called H&K Trigger Man H&K or something like that? I'm assuming it's the same guy. I'm so high. What was I thinking? Okay, people thought that Trigger Man was an OPC Don alt because of the behavior in Discord, because of the way that he talked in Discord. They were like father and son basically for a while.
Finally, equal treatment for hands and nails. Now there's Vaseline Intensive Care Hand and Nail Formula Lotion to soften rough, dry hands and help strengthen nails. With moisturizers for your hands and keratin, the protein found in healthy nails. Hand and nail formula from the makers of Vaseline Intensive Care, because we believe in equal treatment for hands and nails.
Don't use plain petroleum.
Oh, Beth also cut a mini promo on Grace. It wasn't like an attack, but she just said that she didn't find Grace to be interesting.
Jelly, but my lips are really dry and cracked. Use Blistex ointment. I found it's better. Isn't Blistex for cold sores? Blistex also helps heal dry, cracked lips. Blistex has 3 forms of medication. Hey, petroleum jelly doesn't. Petroleum jelly coats, but Blistex penetrates for faster relief of dryness and stimulates healing. Only Blistex has this lip tip. Penetrates, medicates, new lip tip. Blistex is better.
Wall Furniture Outlets.
Attention! WFO declares war. Wall Furniture Outlets declares war on the competition with the guaranteed lowest prices on every wall unit, every bookcase, and every entertainment center. We will not be undersold because WFO has the largest selection in the tri-state area. So buy with confidence. Wall Furniture Outlets. We make the most of your wall. Look for our newest locations on the Post Road in Norwalk, Connecticut.
No way.
And Sunrise Highway, Patchogue, Long Island.
If you own a home, check out Statewide Capital. We'll be glad to show you how to get a personalized, custom-tailored home equity loan that meets your special needs.
Yeah, you can't beat Beth walking down the sidewalk, alternating between yelling old folks home and hospice care. I think it's the first time I've ever heard someone just walk down the street and start yelling at people saying hospice care. It was art.
At excellent rates that are fixed for up to 15 years, with fast approvals and no prepayment penalties. Borrow $10,000 to $250,000 or more. Simply call our toll-free number, 1-800-DIAL-CASH. That's 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
We need to empower the general. We need him making content.
Hello, Statewide Capital.
General Washington! Supplies are low. Morale is terrible. I don't know how much longer the men can take this ordeal.
Did somebody say deal? Save big now during the Dodge President's Week celebration. Get a D250 as low as $10,272. Save a bundle on select Dakotas. Even more on Ram Chargers before your best President's Week deal. Hurry, this sale ends February 25th. Wait.
I say we say nothing of this. Deal.
Did somebody say deal? You wouldn't lie to me now, would you, George?
Let me ask Philip. Philip, let me ask you a question. How long can a human being live, and what are you doing to prolong life?
I quit smoking, which I think you should do, Mort. We'd like to keep you around as... I'd like to keep you around for as many years...
You're just not going to let this guy even talk.
I want to keep you around. I love your show. Okay. And...
Here comes the pitch.
I take... And through life extension mix...
Life extension mix. Does it extend anything else?
In research, they've...
Research? Let's listen to
they've
research.
fed this to lab rats, and it tacked on life to their lifespan.
Tacked on? You spoke to the rats and you knew how long they'd live?
They did research in some university labs.
All right, now, you eat a lot of meat?
I used to. I
You
stopped.
don't anymore?
No.
Actually, she yelled. It was a pretty surreal moment, but she was just shouting old folks home, which I found fascinating. So I started typing in all caps in the chat, old folks home. And then she fed off of that and she started saying it even more. And then she started yelling hospice care. And then she said that the nursing home she was yelling hospice care and old folks home in was the one where her grandpa had died.
You
I also used to
don't smoke?
I quit.
You drink?
I used to. I stopped.
You stopped.
I am definitely not a general. I'm like the guy that I'm the private pile peeling the potatoes.
How old are you?
24.
How old are you really?
24.
24?
Yes, hey, pal, I smoke like a chimney. I drink booze. I eat raw meat. All right?
So did
I
I.
have sex on a regular
And so did
basis.
Based.
But you're 24, I'm 55, and I look a hell of a lot better than you do.
Oh, there we go.
This did that to
ask
you.
me how old I am. Yo, ask me how old I am.
Overeating, obesity.
What is it? I'll tell you what.
There's a
Will you let
misconception
me
about
have this?
cryonics.
I'll take it. I'll see how I feel at the end of this. $315. One a day? One a day?
Give it a month. Give it 1 month.
Give it 1 month. Give it 1 month. I won't have hemorrhoids or anything, right?
Give it one. No, it's not guaranteeing you that. It's all it is saying is it is extended research. They've extended research. They've done with
Morton.
rats. They've
Morton.
had it about a year to 2.
You can extend your life all you want, but I'll tell you something right now. There's nobody older than somebody who's going to die the next day.
I'm the zone boss on Far Cry that doesn't do the terrorism. I'm the one growing all the like drug crops that you have to burn down before you come and like blow up my villa.
I deal with people who contact me day in and day out from all over the country, people who were sick, a fellow who has diabetes, and it's no joke to him. It's an incurable disease.
Doctor, have you studied this
Correct.
potion?
I would like to see that.
Doctor, have you studied this potion?
Yes. Let me ask you.
Wait a second, please. Please, let's hear
I'd
these
like to
numbers.
read that label
This
copy.
is a medical man. I want to know if he studied.
Let me answer your question seriously. Life expectancy for an American has risen since 1900 from 47 to 75 years of age. This remarkable...
For an American male. An American white male.
American, period.
No, American
What are you going to do, Paro?
white male, sir.
This
Black male, 68
extraordinary
still.
progress is due to hardworking, open-minded scientists that wasted hours, years of their lives trying to make breakthroughs in the scientific field. The problem that I see is that 30 and 40 years ago, we were dealing with diseases such as polio, tuberculosis, malaria. We have won. Those diseases are history. Now
But we
medicine,
won them while the
medicine
people
is,
were alive.
No, we
medicine
didn't,
is
because
changing.
I had a
Wait
friend.
a second.
I'm sorry, I have...
I mean, I do interfere at times, but not like in the when I got the Jedi talking about grace and stuff like that. But I try to interfere only when like something like should happen but isn't gonna happen. But it doesn't nothing like bad comes from any of the interference.
I have to jump in here.
Medicine is
Wait a
changing.
second.
Medicine is changing. Medicine is changing. Medicine is changing, and very rapidly so. Today's researchers are focusing on heart disease, on AIDS, on osteoporosis. The problem is that the best minds are concentrating on the problems of today rather than the challenges of the future. Cryonics is the only medical science that potentially, and I say potentially, could solve all the...
I should put those rants you did against XP up sometime, Paro. We played them on stream one time. I just need to put a bunch of dead air before they start so that it doesn't trigger the TOS.
diseases mankind will ever face.
Well, let me go to Father, all right? We have Father James with us. Father, what about the morality of bringing back someone who has been medically declared dead
here we go, the
200 years
religious
later?
perspective.
I mean, I'm of the faith that believes I have a soul. I believe that when I die, my soul goes...
Be honest, though. Seriously, as like trash TV as this has been at times with the shouting and them not gonna let that little guy even talk, you know what I mean? But think about it, he brought on so many different perspectives to hear from. Like, he even brought in this guy to talk about what God would think about it. So, like, yeah, it's like trashy and it's over the top, but like there's substance here too. I mean, as far as much substance as you can have on cryonics.
Goes to heaven or hell. Most of my critics believe hell. What about the morality of that?
Well, I think the morality would depend really on whether or not the body was really dead. Because once the body is dead, there's no possibility of bringing back life again.
So is that a cop-out, Father?
No, because if the body is...
Isn't that a cop-out?
The soul hasn't left the body, it might be in a state of
well, if I'm
suspended
dead,
animation
if
for a
I'm
while.
medically dead, and he fills my veins with glucose and all that other stuff, I'm not bringing any oxygen to the brain, I have no way of really being alive, all right, medically. Will the church accept the fact that I am dead then? And if indeed I am dead, what happens if in 50 years he is able to bring me back to life? Where is my soul?
Well, if
I mean, this is a
all
great
of those
question.
things would be true, and I'm not saying they would be, the soul would then be returning to the body, as happens in a case where somebody appears to be dead on the operating table, has the resuscitation or the code stat, and when they come back, they've often told of sort of...
Where are you at in the meantime, though? Are you like in a void? Do you go to heaven, but then you get pulled back down to earth?
We have,
going down a
Catholic
tunnel and
people who are
such,
frozen, by
and
the
then
way.
suddenly they come back. So the Catholic Church and
50 years is a long walk through a tunnel.
right.
No,
But most of the
50 years
Catholic
is
Church
an
and most of the Christian churches will teach that the soul and the body are created by God, immortal, the soul, and attached to one body. No reincarnation, no changes or anything. So if one is to bring back the body after 50 years, then we'd have to say that same soul would come back.
All right, now you want
We don't have information about our soul today. Can you tell me where is your soul?
Okay.
No.
Hold on.
I see him in, I think, Ruby's chat and Lowe's chat and Lowell Angels, but I don't know anything about who that person is.
We have no argument with
This is typical of scientists, sir.
Yes, we have clients who
Davy
are
Jones
Catholic,
Locker.
who are frozen now.
And we are being accused of playing God, sort of trying to tamper with the rules of nature. We're not playing God. So does every other doctor in a hospital while performing surgery or curing.
He's right in that sense, if this worked. But it's not like you go in to get... I understand what he's saying. In the big picture, he's right. If that's your concern, that you're averting the will of God, you're doing that by getting cancer treatment, because God is saying, like, he wanted you to have cancer. So if that's your hard line, is, you can't alter your fate if God wants you dead, then he's right. It's no different than heart surgery. But on an ethical level, I guess he's saying, though, he's telling the people, like, we have no idea if this will work, but like, that's not what happens. There's always a chance something could go wrong, but you have a general idea of the odds of success for a surgery, whereas this, it's been 100% sludge.
A disease by medication, not given to us by God, but discovered by hard-working scientists.
Let me talk with Dr. Rober for just a second. Doctor, you've had a chance to examine the ingredients of this life-extending mixture.
Those are antioxidants.
He tried to get with, is her name Nova? Romano is into it because one of his employees, her name is Amanda Hugginkiss, has been messing with, like, Blue Ball and Paro, I think.
Please, let's hear what is in here. I'm going to be taking
Vitamin
this.
A, vitamin B group, folate, biotin, vitamin C, ascorbyl biotin, some calcium salts, some magnesium salts, some vitamin D, some amino acids. These are all perfect things. They're perfectly harmless. You get them over the counter in any drugstore, but they don't extend life. Choline, phosphatidylcholine, inositol, that's useless. Coenzyme Q10, freeze-dried cabbage concentrate. That's force.
That's it.
That's force.
That's it.
Absolutely. Force.
That's it. You did it. Next, are we ready for the return of Walt Disney?
Junk, Paro has expressed that if Amanda Hugginkiss is not going to give him what he wants the easy way, that he will take it the hard way, from what I understand. And I think it has something to do with cheeks.
What is this, a sick joke with you jerks dressed up as the president? What do you got, a seller or sale?
Well, we're giving away cherry pies with every purchase.
Oh, what about you, Autoland?
We're having our annual real president sale, Mort.
That's more like that. You got a car last year, what'd you say?
Savings isn't an issue. Service and selection is.
We've got 4.9 financing, Mort. A real sale, not phony. On the spot, finance and immediate delivery. 1-800-AUTOLAND, the price is right, pal.
This is it, the holiday sale you've all been waiting for.
Siemens first.
Siemens' most exciting Washington's birthday sale.
The only reason Romano is a ladies' man is because he's the one who's really pulling the strings and keeping Paro backstage, because he knows that Paro Mania would run wild if he was allowed on these panels.
Ever is now in full swing. Get incredible savings in every department on the beautiful furniture you need. Living room packages, dining sets, bedrooms, bedding, and accessories. Dramatically reduced now through Washington's birthday.
Man, this permanent marker strain is wild.
At all Siemens locations in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut.
For the price that's always right, see Siemens first.
Siemens.
In just 15 years, according to the Miami Herald, Florida will be one of our most populated states. So now is an excellent time to buy a home site. With a small down payment and easy terms, the Citrus Springs community of Deltona Corporation offers you an exciting and affordable lifestyle.
Oh, wow.
There's tennis, boating, and much more. Choice lots are available. So if you're planning a future in Florida, purchase a quarter-acre home site right now. So call right now and take your first step to a whole new lifestyle
Citrus
in the
Springs,
sunshine.
guys. See
When
if it
you
would have
go
been
to
a
the
good
bank for a
investment.
home equity loan, do you ever get the feeling they're trying to tell you something?
Have I ever
Once you
seen
get
him
the
in his
message,
Power
call
Ranger suit?
Statewide Capital. We'll get you money easily and quickly, even if you've been turned down by the bank. Use the equity in your home to get a home equity loan from $10,000 to $250,000.
Now, Hormaxer he doesn't hold anybody back. He's life affirming, content affirming.
$1 or more. No lines, no forms, and fast approvals. Statewide Capital gets you money easily. Call 1-800-DIAL-CASH. 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
It happens once a year. Come on down to the Greater Northeast Recreational Vehicle Camping and Equipment.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the RV Super Show 89. Oh, wow.
Show, February 16th to the 20th, indoors at
I
Rockland
would've only
Community
been
College
10.
in Suffern. Come see a huge display of the new 1989 full-size motorhomes, vans, pop-up campers, fifth wheels, mini homes, and pull trailers. It's 90,000 square feet of RVs all under one roof.
Oh, look at
Come
that big
on, come all to the
Hurricane
15th annual
Parrot.
Greater Northeast Recreational Vehicle Show at Rockland Community College. Don't miss it.
Oh, you're saying that Hormaxer is not allowing Paro up on panel?
All right.
That's
Now, let
surprising.
me please,
That seems like a
let me please
good
come back to
dynamic.
Dr. Abby Ben Abraham. Dr. Abraham, I'm going to call for on our monitors so
They had a bulk discount, Anand.
the folks at home and in our studio audience can see the process of cryonics and preparing a body, et cetera, et cetera.
What you see there on a screen is a body being of a patient that has clinically died, brought to a facility in Oakland, California, TransTime. And there is a team of surgeons and medical experts that are chilling the body
What are they doing in a
gradually
bubble
from
bath?
its temperature to minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit. I've explained this process earlier, but the concept is draining the blood, substituting it with
That's good,
blood
Paro.
substitute containing
OPC will help.
antifreeze, such as glucose or glycerol, and then chilling the body and freezing it in liquid nitrogen.
God, I would have loved to have been able to get up and say something at the end of this episode. I would have been so self-righteous for sure.
The patient is placed in a capsule, and at that
Amanda
temperature,
Hugginkiss.
it's 77 degrees above the absolute zero, which is the coldest temperature that we can achieve. and there is
Hurricane
no
Paro is
molecular
looking for
motion.
Amanda
The person
Hugginkiss.
is dead, and there is no aging process. Whenever we come back to that body we will find it in the same conditions. Aging that would normally take 1 second at these temperatures would take 30 trillion years at liquid nitrogen.
I like this. Please, the alternative. Please, let me go the way I want to go, all right? I want to ask you, doctor, have you ever done a successful reanimation? Who and where?
Clearly, we haven't done so with a human being. And I'm not
Wait a second.
Oh my
have you ever done it
God.
with an animal?
Yes.
What if Mike Chuddy is frozen? Oh, man. I can't think about it. What if he's sludge? OPC is mad at the Thorpes in a new way or an existing?
You see, I am not here telling you that this is a miracle. I'm just telling you to be confident in the progress of science. We have done in our laboratory, my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Siegel and Sternberg,
Don't have a
frozen,
panic attack.
chilled rather, to the ice
Hurricane
point,
Paro.
animals such as hamsters
I'll be
and
right
dogs.
back.
In fact, we have a picture of the dog, if you could show it here. That dog was at 0 degrees for 70 minutes. The blood was substituted with cold-protecting chemicals, and he was clinically dead. This dog had no heartbeat, no respiration, no brain waves, no circulation for 70 minutes. He was totally clinically dead. And then we revived that dog, healthy and happy dog since then, appeared on the Phil Donahue show, and behaved like a perfectly normal dog. We've upscaled that technology to 4.5 hours. We revived the dog after 4.5 hours of being clinically dead, and we are going to be experimenting on monkeys next month. If we're successful in chilling a monkey and bringing it back to life, it might have medical implications because of the similar anatomic and physiological structure of a monkey to that of the human being.
All right, let me go to Philip.
Hold on a second. OPC Don is trying to date Courtney?
Again, Philip, I've got to come back to you because I know you want to give your whole body to freezing.
Right.
I know your dad is already dead.
Yes.
Right? So you can't help him. He's buried. How about your mom? She's still alive?
Yes, she is.
Have you made any arrangements to help your mom?
She refuses. She doesn't want to come back. She says one life is left for her.
True that.
So you
I
haven't-
feel.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, as a good son who loves his
As
mom.
a good son, I may just be tempted. However, most cryonics organizations will not allow a sign-up unless that person is fully aware of it. However, if I have power of attorney, I'm going to go for it.
Going to cut her head off?
No, whole body.
You're
go with the whole
sick.
body.
Oh my
whole
God.
body.
I need to
I
get.
will go
I
whole
need to
body.
be able to speak on this program.
What happens? I mean,
Listen,
you're the
guys.
guy who wants to have his head taken off.
We're gonna find out if cryonics work or not. Okay, 100% for sure. I'm going to start saving up my money now to be ready if time travel ever gets invented. I'm gonna time travel back to this show and tell Tony Schiavone off. So, but I have to get to in order to make it to the time travel era, obviously I'll have to be frozen. So if I show up at the end of the show during the loudmouth segment, we know that cryonics and time travel are real. It's all, here we go.
All right? What do they attach your head to when they find something? What do they attach your head to? His body?
Actually, the process.
Please, come on in.
Actually,
Can I
the
jump in
process
here?
is being done right now, and I
Yeah,
have a book over there.
I think there's
Okay, wait a second.
there's a mass misconception about people in cryonics. We don't want to be frozen. I don't want to be frozen. I don't want to have a car accident and have to be frozen. I wear my seatbelt. I take vitamins. I exercise. I want to live. I love life.
Okay.
You know, we're not Frankenstein people.
All right, well, go ahead.
You know?
Let's hear it. You don't want to be frozen.
No, I don't want to have to be frozen unless I need it. You know, I mean, it's a backup. I mean, we want to live long. You know, it's if you believe in soul and all that
if you
stuff.
could get 200 years out of your life, you'd say the hell with the cryonics?
No, I want 1,000,000 years. I want 1,000,000,000 years. And I didn't believe in it. There's another thing. You know, it's hard to explain how this stuff works. I was given this book by this gentleman here, my friend Doug Platt.
He wants to watch Surviving Slender Man. Okay.
I'm Jeff Philly. Anyway, you got to read this book. I'm telling you, if you read this book, you'll understand how they're going to do it. Right now in Japan, they're working on this technology. They're down to the molecular level. They're putting atoms together to make custom-made.
Hurricane Paro, who cares if you go on? I mean, like, I understand that you want to go on, like, whatever panel, but, like, ultimately, it's not a reflection on you. It's just a reflection on, you know, the state of the industry right now.
Machines that will go and repair all the cells in your body. You know, stuff that we can't foresee.
I believe those things
So
are very
how
proper.
can you...
I believe those things are very
like to raise
possible. In case any of you are interested, folks, name of the book is Engines of Creation, The Coming Era of...
Why don't you get Ben and Grace to send you a ticket and go do an IRL collab with the Thorpes. They seem pretty open. Joe Shabatoni made it sound like they were like wide open for collabs.
No technology, and that sounds riveting to me.
Eric Drexler. You're a good man. I love it. I believe that you should die with dignity. You're on this earth, you live a happy life, you have kids, and you want to die.
You're on this earth, you live a miserable life, you have kids, you want to die.
Look at this guy.
Wait a second.
Oh,
If I ever quit,
Sir.
you know, and I really believe that.
Ray Finkel.
It's guys like you that make me sick.
Yes. I'm back on his side now.
If you
This is what I would have
concentrated
said.
on the problems with drugs, alcohol, and going on today,
that's your
not
choice.
100 years from now, who
That is
cares?
your
There's gonna be
choice.
disease and
Drugs
death.
and alcohol.
And one other
I
thing.
don't
Wait a
do
second.
drugs and
Wait a minute, Shorty. If I ever...
Whoa. Whoa.
Wait a minute. One more thing. If I ever quit... Wait a minute. If I ever quit... Wait a second. If I ever caught any of yous around my house selling my mother insurance or talking finance, I kick yous all ass.
Yeah, let's go.
To really know what they're talking about. The audience next, come on.
Did I tell him to go meet the Thorpes? Yeah, I think he's wanting interaction. So why chase down whoever that's working for, you know, Bob Thomas Productions or whoever, and go to somebody who wants to make content and might be willing to fly you out to get the content. I'll kick everybody.
Need 39.
For 50 years, Mercury has been moving America. To celebrate, your Lincoln Mercury dealer has a totally new Mercury Cougar XR7 to move you. Or move into Mercury Tracer and get $750 cash back.
Sarah the Rage. Oh, are you into it with Sarah the Raging Tomato too? She's into it now with, I think, Paranormal Drama Llama, but I don't really understand what's going on there. Like, I see Drama Llama in my comments sometimes, and whoever it is, they don't cause any problems. So I don't know what their beef with everybody is, but they were into it with Sarah the Raging Tomato and Nikki New, which is an interesting combo. Imagine a threesome with Nikki New and Sarah the Raging Tomato.
See your Lincoln Mercury dealer during Washington's birthday week. Don't miss out.
Don't miss
Banging
Levin's
based
giant
Oracle.
Washington's
He's
birthday
based
weekend
Oracle.
sale with hundreds of exciting bargains. It's the one furniture sale you just can't afford to miss. Hurry, it all ends Monday night.
Feeling good, getting tight. 'Cause I'm living right, living right.
Yeah.
Out of the darkness, into the light. I'm living right, living right.
The first rule of working out is showing up.
Show up now and join for just $24 a
Oh
month.
man, what a
Join Jack
commercial.
LaLanne now.
The Wiz is having its greatest Washington's birthday sale.
The Wiz is having its greatest Lincoln's birthday sale.
Wiz is having its greatest presidential sale.
I'm the Coronet mother, and if you're in the market for cribs, strollers, high chairs, playpens, and toys, then Coronet's for you. At Coronet, we have 2 giant warehouses loaded with stock at Coronet's famous low discount prices.
How did you find the channel, TJ? What content was like your entryway in? I can't remember.
Coronet opens 7 days a week, where you get giant discounts for little people and no talking orangutan.
Hey, Ma, what are you making for dinner?
Reservations.
Hurricane, are you keeping up with Savvy Guy? He seems like he'd be a good guiding influence for you.
Coronet, 1111 Old Country Road, Westbury.
What is this, a sick joke with you jerks dressed up as president? What do you got, sell or a sale?
Well, we're giving away cherry pies with every purchase.
Oh, what about you, Auto Land?
We're having your annual real president sale, Mort.
That's more like that. You got a new car last year, Dottie. What'd you say?
$2,300 on a Chrysler New Yorker.
We've got 4.9 financing, Mort. A real sale, not...
Imagine somebody out there is nice enough to put ATF Media on their Hulu account, and then they have to remove him because everything on their algorithm is suddenly about Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin.
On the spot, financing, immediate delivery. 1-800-AUTOLAND. The price is right now.
I am the
Yeah, savvy guy. He's not. Yeah, he's not a. I wouldn't say he's a dating. He's a lifestyle guru.
descendant of 2 slaves brought to this country in the 1700s. The Freeman family played a role in the founding of Auburn, New York. During Black History Month, we appreciate the many African Americans who have contributed to our nation. But we must...
That makes sense then why you didn't understand anything for the last 20 minutes.
...not be content until the story of African Americans is a regular part of American history.
Oh,
the celebration of our heritage should be more than just a 28-day event.
Some of the guests of the Morton Downey Jr. show stay at the Meadowlands
Did you see
Hilton
that
Hotel.
huge disclaimer after he talked?
All right. Now, let's get serious because I want to go to the audience in just a second. I do want Dr. Avi Ben Abraham to explain something.
What about Hurricane Paro and King TL?
And on the serious side, let's try and remember this.
I'm not assuming anything, but Paro does talk about clapping cheeks of both men and women, so that's why I brought up King TL.
Man is indeed a Nobel Prize nominee. Dr. Abraham, go ahead.
Thank you. If you think cryonics is future...
No, I didn't see the restaurant review. I need to watch that one. I saw the cologne review.
I agree with you. However, it's only the tip of the iceberg in a broader discipline called life extension, which consists of such areas as interventive gerontology, trying to understand the aging process, why our cells age and eventually die.
Maybe we're gonna see a big content shift from Savvy because he's gonna finish up his program, I think, at the learning how to work on cars. So maybe he's assuming that since he's gonna be getting the bag, he's gonna be getting the box. So he won't need to make any more of this. So we're moving over into the cologne and restaurant genres.
If one day we can slow the aging process or find out what is this process that eventually will kill all of us, we will have stopped time. Artificial organs and transplantation, in which unbelievable progress has been made. Regeneration and biological repair, which means rebuilding dead cells, as well as the most fascinating field of cloning, growing whole organs and body parts from single cells, genetically identical to our own.
Could you grow the body parts, or could you grow the entire body if you want?
We could probably do both of them. In 1962, a scientist in the United Kingdom grew an entire frog using the intestinal cell, the nucleus of an intestinal...
I would like him to make a corn being, like that bong we saw at the head shop that was like, it was like an anthropomorphic ear of corn. I'd like to meet somebody like that through one of these science programs.
Cell in this technology called nuclear transplantation.
But did the frog eventually croak, sir?
Very well.
Of course the frog croaked.
This is medicine of the future. Now we are approaching the year 2000. We have to be open-minded. Science must be daring and it must be innovative.
I'm open-minded as long as we don't invade another human's body to keep another human alive, or to create a more perfect human, as I believe a guy by the name of Dr. Mengeles tried to do. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say this guy right here, the body rubber-looking guy. Listen, if your mother's on the ground, that's where she should stay. There's no way you should be able to bring her back up and freeze her. That's up to her, all right, dude? That's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right.
Right.
Dr. Abraham, I believe that once you die, that's the way you should be. We don't have enough food or enough...
ATF Media, don't you love how back in the 80s the women had the real subtle makeup? It was like a real natural look.
Anything, really, to keep everybody on
Excuse
this
me, ma'am,
earth.
if you're in the hospital with cancer,
It doesn't
are you going to say, don't cure me? I don't want to have...
There's not enough on this
I
earth to
don't
keep
want...
everybody alive forever.
Pardon me?
Let me go this way.
Dr. Ober said before.
Hey TJ, have you ever threatened to forcibly clap someone's cheeks when they kept you backstage on a YouTube panel?
For that death of cells, if they're oxygen deprived, occurs, what, 5 or 10 minutes? Everybody knows that.
5 minutes
How
for the
long
brain.
does your cooling process take? 3 or 4 hours? And what happens to a cell, Dr. Ober, after it's been oxygen
that
deprived
badass.
for 3 or 4 hours?
Dead.
What about children who fall in the
define
lake?
death?
That's not true.
That is That is irrelevant, with all the
No way Savvy's as tall as that guy.
respect. The opposition
Savvy's
to
got to be a kind of a shorter guy, don't you think?
cryonics is not intellectual or scientific. It is moral and ethical. If we don't
If
have
you
the
don't
technology,
freeze dry it
hold
within 2
on.
minutes
If
after
we
that-
don't have the technology today, if we don't have the knowledge today, we will have that knowledge in the future. We are pioneers in a science that is bound to succeed.
Who appointed you
My
God?
objections are not moral or ethical.
Hurricane, have you thought about paying for the box?
I never raise moral or ethical objections to anything.
Hey, don't
I
fuck-
think everybody can go to hell in his own way. But my objection is based on the fact that I do not think science fiction is a legitimate art form.
Science fiction of
Flash
today.
Gordon was science fiction.
Science fiction of today is the reality of tomorrow.
In
Let me go to
1935,
this.
Flash Gordon was
This
science
is the audience
fiction.
segment, sir.
You
Go
keep
ahead.
saying when I'm laying in bed and then I'll take the treatment. Who the hell's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
You guys going to sell me an insurance policy when I'm dying of cancer in a hospital?
Well, the idea
So that means
like
only
the
the
guy
idea
like
is
a
to
guy
get it
from Mass.
beforehand. I have an older
Okay, I'm not
brother
gonna think
who
of
has
it
a
fine.
heart condition who'd love to do this, but unfortunately, he's uninsurable. Now, had he
Well,
known
by
about
then,
this...
obviously, you're uninsurable because you're going to die.
Oh, you buy the insurance beforehand.
Why would
you
I
see,
buy it now?
Because you're healthy and
And I'm going
it
to pay
costs
for
less.
20 years for something that isn't even proven yet.
Well,
And they've done it
what's
with a
your
cat
life
or a
worth,
dog?
sir? What's your life worth? It's a,
Not
it's
an
a price
insurance
on it.
policy that doesn't guarantee me anything.
That's right, it's priceless.
Let me hear this gentleman here.
Well, okay, so Paro, let me ask you this, and I'm being serious. I'm not fucking with you. When you went to the Ho House, right, regularly, how did that affect your mental health and like how you interacted with people?
There's a mistaken conception here that the people involved in cryonics want to sell it to people. We like people. We would like to convince our loved ones and friends that this is a good last chance thing to go for.
So
but we don't
shot
want
in the dark. You're
We
not
don't want
sure
to
of it,
sell
but
it to
it's
people.
possible.
We want to have the right to do it. There are some people in government and in bureaucracies who are trying to deprive us of this right to do that. And I basically agree with that gentleman who mentioned that if his mother doesn't want to be frozen, fine. Right, I defend everyone's right to rot. If they want to rot, that's great. In the same hand, I want the right to be frozen if I so choose. And I don't want to be. I love life. I want to stay alive as long as...
While we're waiting to come back, would you turn down the heat in the audience? We'll be right back.
February, when we salute three great American leaders, Lincoln, Washington,
Man, I would go just ape shit in the crowd at one of these things.
and
I also looked up and tried to find any wrestling events that were in the area, and I couldn't really find any.
Crazy Eddie! Crazy Eddie, his sale prices are insane!
That's the real guy, too. That's the Crazy Eddie. I read the book about this guy, man. It was nuts.
What is this, a sick joke with you jerks dressed up as president? What do you got, a seller or sale?
Well, we're giving away cherry pies with every purchase.
Radio Foreman got banned by the Thorpes.
We're having your annual real president sale, Mort. That's more like that. You got yourself a car last year at Autoland. How much you say?
I said 1,400 on my Camry.
All right. We've got 449 financing, Mort. A real sale, not phony present.
Oh, wow.
Financing immediate delivery. 1-800-AUTOLAND. The price is right now.
If you're really serious about your conversation, call...
Okay, what's the hypocrisy though with the girls at the Ho House, right? You give them something, they give you something, and then that's it, right? Then you just leave. Like, where's the hypocrisy? I don't see the issue. It seems to me like it's very stressful for you to get the box in the wild. So if you could avoid that stress and just go directly to the box, then that would it seems like that would improve your quality of life to me.
540-TALK, New York's best talk line. Call us now. We want to talk to you.
Out.
If you're alone, we're here 24 hours a day. Not a party line, but a conversation. Anytime, day or night, we're waiting to share a special moment with you. There's always someone to talk to on 540-TALK. That's 540-8255. Just $3.45 per call. Not available in New Jersey.
American Express has now made applying for the card as easy as picking up the phone.
Is there controversy over how the Kick Chat's being moderated?
Apply for the card.
Hi, American Express. Can I apply for the card right over the phone? Great.
For those who qualify, the card comes with a world of privileges.
Express? I seem to have lost my wallet with all my
The
cards.
privilege of having someone on
Mr.
call to
Gardner,
help you
I can have a new card for you by tomorrow.
24 hours a
That would be
day.
great.
Privileges that extend the free repair period offered under most manufacturers' warranties.
Hey, Junk, isn't that almost a universal thing though in this genre on YouTube of like, you see Wings do that all the time. Whenever he's upset, it's like, oh man, if I don't hit this goal by whatever, I'm not even making minimum wage. And then if people make him mad, then he's like, well, I got, multiple properties and I've got, investments and I'm making $2K a month off of this and $2K a month off of that. Like, I feel like that's kind of one of the main loops of the creators that a lot of us watch.
Privileges that give you an extra measure of financial flexibility.
I'm glad we stayed an extra day.
I'm glad we have the American Express card.
Just call 1-800-235-4500. We'll take your application over the phone and start processing it right away.
American Express. I'd like to apply for
$255 out of
membership.
Membership has its privileges. So call 1-800-235-4500 now.
March is just around the corner. Can the Mets be far behind? Get ready for 82 exciting games on free television. The Mets and Channel 9 together for 27 seasons.
All right. Okay. I want to go into the audience for just a minute. I want to go to Nico Kane. Nico is Governor Tom Kane's nephew. How's the governor stand on this?
I don't know.
All right, we're going to find out if cryonics and time travel actually work.
How do you
I'm
stand
not
on
speaking
it?
for him. Well, I have a question. I just want to know about...
But to be fair, I'm really high, so I'm going to try to do my best to remember to get myself together financially and purchase cryogenics for myself, but I might forget.
some more specifics. Some more specifics about related research and whether or not benefits such as he was talking about the disease of aging. Exactly what does that mean? Are you treating it like a sickness, like leukemia or AIDS or something like that?
I think that the oldest and most permanent killer of all times has been the disease of aging. It's about time that we try to understand what happens to our cells and why we eventually die. We have to treat it as a disease. Let me also remind the audience that...
In other words, life is a disease.
Life is a disease. Right now, we can freeze almost all biological tissues.
I'm high, Paro. I don't understand what you mean. You don't like it because the girls at the hoe house are also sleeping with other guys at the hoe house?
Sperm, corneas, blood components, skin, teeth, and other biological tissues can be frozen to liquid nitrogen temperatures and survive the process.
All right, sir, quickly, you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mort. When I first walked in here today, I thought it was kind of a morbid subject. But I'll tell you, I think it's just through ignorance.
Whoa, look at this
It's not
guy,
a bad
man.
idea for someone who may want to live, or for those who are dying currently of something like a cancer or an AIDS, and maybe have some hope that they want to come back. I concur with the point that they said, well, if your mother doesn't want to come back, I know my mother wouldn't want to be here if I wasn't here, or the rest of my family. Okay, but I applaud you, Dr. Abraham. It takes a lot of guts to sit up here and say something. These people have never heard of it before. I never heard of it before. I congratulate
I'm not altogether sure I'd ever have the dough to invest $150,000. I suppose while I'm healthy, I could buy the insurance policy.
Honestly speaking, this whole issue of money is irrelevant. If many people sign up, the cost will dramatically go down. And then I would like to see the day that the government will pay for this process as part of the medical health process.
Here we go. He wants the government subsidies. He just lost me.
I'd like to see the day when we could extend the life and the quality of life of all the people in this audience and all the people in this country through the type of research you're doing. Maybe you can't bring me back to life, but maybe you can let my life be a lot better while I'm here.
It's a giant process. While the ultimate goal is freezing the body and bring...
Paro, if you're paying for the box, you can have the lights on, off, dimmed, whatever. You can do anything you want to. Well, whatever's agreed upon in your business deal.
back to life. We're doing tremendous progress in treating cancer patients and in freezing organs and bloodless surgery. There are a lot of medical benefits to this research.
Well, I want to come back so I can be with this audience again.
Yeah. That's how I feel, guys. And then he just runs out. That's what you call a Costanza. You hit the big note, and then you just fucking walk out.
Coming up next on the Arsenio Hall Show, Arsenio's special guest, Tony Curtis on the Arsenio Hall Show. Next, it's all you'll ever want in late night.
I might have forgot to do
your
the
calendars,
cryonics
because
thing.
next Friday, Arsenio's guests will include Mighty Mouth Morton Downey Jr.
Trying to see if I see myself in the audience anywhere. Maybe something happened and they wouldn't allow me to be on to ask a question. Well, you know, where can we possibly go from cryonics? One of my favorite topics, phone sex. Did they bring anyone back from the dead? They did not. I'm comfortable saying that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he envisioned an America that would be making 7 million phone calls a day for the express purpose of having phone sex? I mean, today's phone company really adds new meaning to reach out and touch someone, all right? Well, tonight, you're gonna meet them. Phone sex addicts, the girls that give great phone. People who think it should be outlawed, and America's premier prince of porn, Al Goldstein.
Oh, Al Goldstein.
Break out the raincoats, baby.
Al Goldstein hosted a New York City public access show. I want to say it was called Midnight Blue or Midnight or something Blue, but he would interview like porn stars and review theaters and movies.
Phone sex next. Come on.
Shooter McGavin.
Let's get down to work here, all right? Let me introduce you to some of our guests at home base and at the Loudmouths, various 1 and 2 here. I don't know how many of you have met Bruce Taylor with us before. He's General Counsel, Citizens for Decency Through Law.
There's Al Goldstein.
Bruce, nice to have you with us.
All right, thanks.
You're from Phoenix. Loudmouth 1, Barry Lynn from the ACLU in Washington, D.C. Baby,
Oh, boy.
Anything's all right with these birds. You get picked up for masturbating on the street, they'll get you off, you know. Loudmouth 2, we've got Randy Plesser, also known as Pleasure, I think. You're a phone sex addict. You're from Philadelphia, right? How are you, Randy?
Look at the guy behind him.
And last but not least, the sleaze of slime, Mr. Al Goldstein. You're putting on weight again, aren't
Yeah,
you?
Mort, I'm gaining weight. I'm up about 20 pounds. Yeah.
You're up about 20 pounds.
Yeah, I'm depressed
What's
about
up,
that.
salty
Sure, you
dog?
should be
I have to
depressed.
go back to masturbation.
Listen, that's why you're
Better
putting
way.
on weight.
I know.
So let me come to Bruce. Bruce, your organization is constantly crusading against obscenity, and you're for decency. Now, do you have a definition of obscenity?
Well, there's a legal definition that was come from the U.S. Supreme Court cases, but basically the courts use the term hardcore pornography to define, you know, where there's PCV, penetration clearly visible, there's explicit sex, it's not supposed to be in print, movies, magazines. That's what the prosecutors prosecute as obscenity. And Al, right?
Is that right, Al?
Yeah, that was a great Piper's Pit. He kept blowing the smoke in Piper's face, and he's like, "Hey, I said, don't be blowing no smoke in my face."
But it's a variable.
Is that right? I see one of your magazines here.
Sure. The front story, the front headline is the one you might want to read.
Yeah. This is a classy magazine, folks, all right, all over America. I got to tell you, true story. I'm walking along with my little girl about 16 years ago, Kelly. She's 5 years old, chewing gum, right? And these things are setting in those newsstands in California. And here is Screw Magazine with a giant blow-up picture of a woman's private, all right, being spread. And my little girl, 5 years old,
You've got to
now,
be
looked at that and
kidding me,
said,
Mort.
"Daddy, what's that?"
He's not walking past a newsstand on the street with a giant inflatable pussy. Come on.
Now, how the hell am I going to explain what that is? So if I told her it was a butterfly, all right? She's 21 years old now and thinks I'm pretty stupid that I thought that was a butterfly. Now, here's a typical Al Goldstein publication, folks. Top story, new life for dead. This is a detective story?
It's about Richard Nixon.
Detective story, I figured. You have pictures in that magazine of penetration.
Absolutely. It's hardcore.
That's hardcore.
Hardcore. And we were acquitted in Kansas in a federal indictment.
This particular episode is from June of '88.
Because we had redeeming social value.
Such as?
Oh, yeah, because we deserve
Oh,
to
the
exist,
picture was
because we
blown
deal
up.
with reality. If you, no, because again...
Well, so I don't even really believe that. I don't believe that they had it out like that.
If you think that sex is dirty, you don't want to see pictures
not what
of
the law's
sex.
all about
You'd
either.
rather see pictures of Jimmy Swaggart with his lies. That's the reality you're into, Bruce.
You know,
Yeah, but Al, let me ask you a
Bruce
question. all right? I
Taylor.
happen to know you're a pretty decent guy, all right? Would you want 5, 6, and 7, and 8-year-olds reading that magazine?
No, I would not.
You wouldn't?
No. It's aimed for consenting adults. It really is. And that front page you saw wasn't Screw, because ordinarily the front page is the cleanest part of the paper, because I am aware...
Clean, Ronald Reagan having sex with the Statue of Liberty?
What?
It's a political statement that Ronald Reagan has screwed America. It has there's a political statement there. And he probably gave the country AIDS.
Mort's
Let me
not
come
gonna
back
like
to
to hear
Barry.
that.
You've been quoted as saying that pornography is as innocuous as a floor wax commercial. All right, at least in the floor wax commercial, I mean the housewife is holding a mop handle. You know. You've been quoted. Do you believe that?
Oh, I thought you said Barry Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barry.
I don't
I
even
did
remember
mean,
being quoted as
Barry,
saying
I
that.
did mean that to you.
I don't remember actually saying that. What I have said is that for most Americans who don't look for pornography or make their careers out of fighting it everywhere in the country, whether the country wants it or not,
That's wrong,
you don't
right?
see it. It's invisible and irrelevant to most people in this country. They don't even subscribe to Al Goldstein's magazine. If he gave it to them free, they wouldn't be interested. Bruce Taylor has made a lifelong career out of going into communities and
trying
saying,
to uphold
let's
morals,
spend...
right?
No.
Isn't that
let's
awful?
impose his morality on everybody else in the country.
Hey, mindful
There's
exposure.
one question here, one question only. Do you want Ed Meese? Do you want Jimmy Swaggart? Do you want Bruce Taylor and his group to tell you, wherever you are in America, what you can see and read and listen to? And I say the answer is no.
No, and I don't either. But I also don't want it crammed down my throat in some open
Mort,
newspaper stand.
The
all right?
truth is 99.9% of the cities in this country, you cannot see one sexually explicit image. It is almost invisible. It's even invisible in places like Times Square, except for 1 or 2 blocks. Most parts of this country,
Except for 1 or
nobody
2
is
blocks.
forcing you to see any of it. They're not forcing you to see it. They're not forcing you to see it on television or on the television.
I've seen a couple of those, Salty's Doghouse. That would be a fun episode to do.
Fine.
Barry, at
I
what
draw
point-
no lines as
No
far
lines.
as the government is concerned. The government has no business telling anybody what they can see and read about automobile mechanics or the mechanics of sex.
So anything goes.
Anything
Hello.
goes.
Wasn't that
Once
an
that's
old
made, once
show?
that's published, once that's printed,
show?
the Constitution ought to protect it. Thomas Jefferson, you know, collected pornography. He knew about it. He knew it was there. And he didn't say in the First Amendment.
You know who else collected pornography was Howard Finkel.
really not
that
true,
the First
Barry.
Amendment protects only political speech. It just says speech, freedom of the press. That's why this country is different from every other country on the face of the
Amazing,
globe. And
isn't
I'm
it?
proud of that.
Amazing. Let me tell you how amazing you liberal, sap-sucking, pablum-puking...
Here goes more.
Let me tell you. You were the guys who
Page 3,
insist
girls.
on freedom of speech, all right? Every letter I get in this television station is from a liberal pablum puker who wants me off the air. They don't want me to have freedom of speech because I don't coincide with your
You know what I have to say to liberals all over the country? Liberals tell me all over the country, isn't there some way we can get that Jerry Falwell off the television? And I tell them the same thing I tell you. It's just as wrong to be a liberal censor than a conservative censor, that America is built on the idea that no matter how many people, if 99% of the public in this country thought you were offensive, they couldn't kick you off this station.
Oh,
but
yeah,
if
you wanna hear a good
51%
one?
of the people think that
ACLU
Al
brought the
Goldstein is
lawsuit
offensive,
in federal
they can
court
kick
to
his
stop the
magazine
Meese
out of the
Commission report from
newsstand.
coming out.
my gosh.
They're the ones that wanted to censor the Meese Commission
Chael
report. It
Sonnen
was
up
his
on
buddy,
stage.
Bill Lockhart, the ACLU guy in the 1970 commission, that wouldn't print Charlie Keating's dissenting report that said crime statistics show that pornography is harmful. The liberals on the commission are the ones that wouldn't give them the right to even have the thing printed. So ask them about censorship.
Nobody in the American Civil Liberties Union ever tried to censor the Meese Commission
You
report.
brought
The
the
Meese Commission
lawsuit,
report.
Barry.
The Meese Commission fell
Oh yeah, I remember that. The dive into the punk rock scene.
because it was stupid.
That's it. That feels like a fever dream that ever happened.
Because it was based on a set of lies and of frauds.
No, it
and
came
the
out.
public said
In spite
no
of
to
your
it, even
lawsuit,
though
it
they
came
had all
out, Barry.
2,000
I actually have the literal VHS tape of the literal tape that I watched my first ever porn on.
All right, let me go to Al Goldstein. Al, I guess it's a stupid question to ask a man whose main claim to fame is that he published a Screw magazine. But
Hey, Laughing Cedar.
is there any point where you could really refuse to publish something because you considered it too pornographic?
For me, but it has to be an internal judgment. I don't
Yeah,
want...
I'm asking for an
no,
internal
and I know you have one. I agree with Barry.
trust Al,
Okay,
right?
but Bruce, I'm not going to trust you and Edwin Meese, who's probably going to be indicted any day now. Don't have him be
He won't
arbiter of
be.
morality.
He won't be.
Okay, let
He
me
won't
answer the
be.
question because next thing we're going to do the whole Spanish Inquisition, because the things you don't like, you want to make illegal. I think it's an internal judgment for me as an editor, and I would not have anything involving pedophilia or child pornography because I'm opposed to that.
Very
Those are the
unfair,
issues.
though.
But consenting males and consenting females who want to look at people copulating should be allowed to. And
How about you, Barry? Would you draw the line there, too?
No. Once it's published, no. Anything
You would let
can be
kids,
published.
pedophilia, kids having sex, you'd allow that with adults?
To be published
Yeah.
once it's there.
If it's published, would
a
you
little,
allow it?
Mort, it's a little late
Would
in the
you
day.
allow it?
Yes.
You're a pig.
Let me tell you something.
You're a sick pig. Now, I can understand.
Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's got 3 movies on it. That's Outrageous, Fever, and then the first one I ever watched, Taboo. This is it. This is the actual VHS.
I can understand, pal. I can understand the adult stuff. But when you talk about little kids, that's sick. You're sick.
I'll tell you something that's sick. I'll tell you something that's sick, Mort. I'll tell you something that's sick. I'll tell you what's sick. What is sick is that America does not care. Shut up. America does not care. America America does
Naughty
not
Lesbians
care.
9.
Hey, sir, let me ask you something, sir. What I'd like to do is stop sexual abuse of children in this country. And the way you do that is not by passing laws or making it a crime after the fact for somebody to collect that picture. No, I didn't say it's okay. What I said, I did not say.
Yeah, I mean it all ties into the the everything else we watch. It's an incest story.
I said that the
already publicized that it's okay by you, then you're as sick as the guy publishing it.
No. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you
Randy, let me come to Randy a second.
I think that the
Do I still have a VHS player? Yes.
people.
I think so, yeah.
Randy, I understand you got hooked on phone sex, all right? That's really what this show's about tonight. You had to sell
Typical Thorpe panelist.
your car. You had to sell your car to pay the bill. Now, how in the hell
Grid 1.
did that happen? What'd they do to you? Let's hear this story. This is pitiful.
Back in March in '88, I got myself hooked on Philadelphia's 976 phone line.
You should move. If you live in Philadelphia, it's all you can do is phone sex.
Those phone lines. Listen, Mr. Goldstein.
Let me hear you.
Listen, Mr. Goldstein.
Meet
those
the
lines are
Feebles.
sick. They are
You're
sick.
sick for abusing them.
No.
Why
I
don't
made
you
a
try
mistake.
self-control?
I always think Meet the Feebles is funny because like you watch that and then you're like, oh yeah, that guy goes on to make Lord of the Rings. It's like, huh?
In the same way you're fat now.
Or in my case, it was like, what? The guy who made Meet the Feebles is making Lord of the Rings at the time? Which, I mean, I didn't doubt his skill as a filmmaker, but, you know, just kind of weird.
I'm fat. Are you going to close the donut shop? Take responsibility.
Grace just watches probably like vanilla DP porn.
You
Wild
have
porn
to
birds.
realize these phone lines have no control. Men are calling up on these phone lines, threaten to rape, molest. Is that right?
Why'd you make the call? You should have responsibility for controlling your own life. You want the government to tell you can make 4 calls a day? What are you, a nitwit?
Randy, how much was your bill, pal?
$12,633.
Let me tell you. Well, let me ask you. Wait a second. Now, this guy got sucked in, all right? Let me ask you. I'm not being confrontational, all right? When you'd had these phone sex calls, would you masturbate?
Sometimes, yes.
All right. Well, wait a second. That's what the hell they're for, all right, for the most part.
God.
Frankly, what I don't understand
Oh,
is
imagine this guy croaking one out.
$12,000 worth of masturbation and you're still fat. We're going to be back in just a second, all right? Gina.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Gina. Is there a Gina in here? Is there a Gina? Is there a Gina in here? Where's Gina? Gina, come up here a second, will you please? Come here. How are you? You okay? Yeah. All right. Gina's given a lot of people great phone, gang. When we come back, she'll show us what Ma Bell would never show you. Stand by.
After seeing Grace get slapped, that's one of the like least degrading things that's ever happened to her on stream.
Let me introduce you at home base, all right, if you don't mind. Gina Clark was a former phone sex operator, all right? Now, Gina, let me come back to you, all right? Before we get into any heavy breathing, let me ask you how on earth you went from high school senior to melting telephones for $1 a minute.
Well, when I graduated from high school, one, I was a sexually abused child. Okay. When I graduated from high school, I didn't have enough money to pay. I had a $3.55 an hour job, and I didn't have enough money to pay my rent, let alone eat, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I saw an ad for dancing for $500 a week. And I started dancing.
Applause things? Oh, for sure. When they come back from when they come and go from the commercials, for sure they do.
Topless dancing, and the club that I was working at was raided by the police. And I knew I didn't want to go back to that.
Why was it raided?
What?
Why was it raided?
Well, usually with both
Were
pornography.
some of the girls turning tricks?
There was girls doing prostitution and also selling drugs out of
Were
those
you doing
clubs.
either one of those things?
No.
Okay.
And I didn't get charged or anything like that. I mean, I have a clean record.
Okay, so they
as
closed
far
the
as
club
that
down.
goes.
No more dancing. What
No,
does
they
Gina
didn't
do
close
now?
it. They
Oh,
didn't close it down. They raided it, but the club's still open today. Anyway, a boyfriend of mine knew the manager of this phone sex place, and he got me an interview, and I got hired.
What kind of an interview was it? What did you have to do during the interview?
Well, you listen to other girls do phone sex, and then you listen to the manager do a call with a guy, and then they put you on the line. And they tell you right up front
Interesting-looking
that,
dancer.
you're going to be talking about mutilation, you're going to be talking about sadomasochism sex, visionary sex, urination.
Visionary sex?
Or
What is
not
vision?
visionary.
I'm a
I
real
didn't-
square. Tell me what visionary sex
No,
is.
I mean, I can't think of the word. Voyeuristic
Oh, voyeur.
sex.
Okay.
Just
it's half these
every
guys
type,
in here.
urination,
Young Ruby.
infantilism, men that were into pretending to be babies and things like that.
Oh.
I mean,
Listen to the crowd all came alive
Well,
on
now
that one.
this is interesting. Just think of the mentality of the people. Go ahead.
Humiliation.
Humiliation?
Urinary on people. Defecation.
Defecation?
This is all part of it?
Yes.
Well, what's the humiliation? What do they do in humiliation?
One gentleman called up when I was on the line and wanted to be at a movie theater. And he wanted to be urinated on by a prostitute. He wanted to masturbate in front of a screen and be defecated on by his wife.
Wow. Wow. Oh, thank you, Salty Dog House. There's some weird members only videos available.
Gina, wait a second. Let me come back here a second. Gang. Hold it a minute. Gina, does it really work? I mean, where were you when these calls came in, and did you really get into it yourself?
no. We sat in an office. There was like 8 of us working out of the same room, and Santa Claus sat next to me. They had the same, the Santa Claus lines. There was
that
right
reminds
next to
me,
me.
you folks out in L.A., do you remember when the kids fouled up the number, were calling for Santa Claus, and they got the phone?
Some kids called up to tell Santa what they want for Christmas. And in the booth over, this guy's getting shit on by his wife.
Phone sex instead?
They had on one...
Really, that happened in L.A. Hundreds of kids, thousands of kids were calling for, hello, is Santa Claus there? And you get some slimy, who's telling the kid what to...
It just shows what a problem.
Well, maybe Santa Claus bought some of them their present.
The Santa Claus line, one phone was for phone sex with Santa, and one was for kids with Santa. And the guy worked both lines.
Oh, my
Phone
God.
sex with Santa?
Yeah. People,
If you're Jewish, you can't do that, can
people
you?
could call and have sex with Santa Claus.
People called
Gina,
up
could
and had
could
sex
I ask
with...
you a question?
You like
Don't
this,
you
though,
think...
Mr. ACL, you're right?
I don't like any of this, to tell you the truth, Mort.
All right,
I don't
good.
like any of it, but I much prefer to have people doing it, I suppose, talking over the phone and doing it. Now, I'd like to ask Gina a question. Gina, it seems to me that if we could find a way to keep kids out of those systems, whether the kids are running up bills to dial a Santa, sex with Santa, or dial a sex, we would solve what is the real problem. My problem is that people like Mr. Taylor have resisted that effort for so many years and try to keep even adults away from making a phone call to you or to somebody else in the business.
If the law's
That's what I
enforced and it's gone, there won't be any kids hurt.
And if I had my way, I would ban phone sex, but you can't because of First Amendment rights, but you can regulate it, and you can make it so that mentally retarded men can't easily get a hold of it, and you can make it so children can't get a hold of it.
We should make it so children can't get a hold of it, but Mr. Taylor wants adults not to get a hold of it.
Wait a second.
You're not in agreement with anything that's going to take a profit.
My name's Nick Ridgely, and I operate a lot of different
Here's south
services.
to west.
Some of them happen to be adults. That's a small part of what I do. But anyway, I just want to say that every market that I'm in, all you got to do is call the phone company and say, hey, block this line.
And
all
what's
of a sudden,
what's the phone company charge you for that?
a penny a month in California, not in New York, not a penny. You call them up, say, I don't like this number, block it, and it's gone.
So what about the payphones, huh?
Payphones are blocked.
What about all the...
You can't get through on the...
What about people
Hotels are blocked. Office buildings are blocked. You can't get through.
Sack.
You can't get through.
You know?
What?
You're a phone pornographer. As a matter of fact, you're a front for somebody that owns all that junk and computers, and you're coming in here advertising for your line. But the kind of fraud...
But what do I know, Mort? I'm just a troll.
Do is provide services for people who want to listen to a service. They don't want to listen to service, don't go in there. You don't go to the grocery store to buy alcohol.
But you see,
don't call my number.
But you think
Yeah.
Bruce and Gina are getting...
Oh boy, look at oh my God.
You're still obscene. Why are you wearing a mask, sir? You're Why? We all wear masks. We all wear masks. Why are you wearing a mask, sir?
I always wear a mask when I come on shows like this.
Why? You're ashamed.
See, I like this. Look at the negative reaction he's getting because, like, to come down to this and participate and to make your voice heard, like, you literally had to show up in person and, like, there's no hiding. Like, the crowd is really pissed that this guy's, like, obscuring his identity. Which they should be.
No, not at all.
Afraid to have people see you?
Well, I am not afraid to have people see me because I do other things, and it would ruin my reputation.
In other words, you admit that what you do is so sleazy, it would ruin your reputation.
No, I don't admit that.
Rip that mask off of him, Mort.
No.
Take that mask off of
Ruin
him.
your reputation.
Not because it's sleazy, because that's people's mentality. There is no freedom as long as people think that what you do is wrong.
How come these other guys had enough guts to come up without masks?
Sorry, Joe. You're not entitled to other people's feelings. You're entitled to come on the show wearing this outfit, but you're not entitled to, like, people having to agree with you. That's not part of freedom of speech.
Maybe they don't have other interests. I have other interests to protect. That's why.
What do you do, run a daycare center?
No, sir. No, sir. But I'll tell you what I will do. I will tell you how to solve this whole phone sex problem with children.
All right.
My company, my name's Joe. My company...
I'll bet.
Joe Blow, to be exact.
And I'll bet you too.
My company... My company is the second oldest phone sex company in America.
God love you. That's really wonderful.
Now, let me tell you something, Mark. Mark, let me tell you something. Mark, we've produced 45 million calls in the last 5.5 years that we've been in operation.
We're from Penthouse?
I have gotten exactly 2, and I'll sign affidavits to that effect, 2 complaints, one from a lady in New York whose son called my line because it was very close to dial Santa, just like this lady's problem, okay? I solved her problem very simply.
Salty Dog, whenever you had your mask party, did anybody fuck in the masks? That seems like something Paro would be into.
I was the only one man enough to talk to her about it and write the people who produced Dial Santa, and I took care of it. Yeah. The other complaint, hey.
Gina, let me come back to Gina, all right? Let me come back, Gina. You'll get a chance, pal, in a minute.
Okay.
All right, just relax. The moment that we've all been
Relax,
waiting
pal.
for, all right? How about giving us, give Uncle Morty a little phone, all right? Now, wait a second. Let's not get her nervous, all right? Here's my fantasy, all right? I want you to wrap my widow wrists around a great big bedpost and do naughty things to me, all right? That's my fantasy. Now, what are you gonna do? I'm on the phone with you.
Wait a minute, you're not gonna
No, I want to
actually
hear it. I want to hear it.
All right, everybody.
We want to know.
Let's call everybody calm. Let's be respectful and hear what she has to say.
Show up the kind of garbage. I'll run the show. Shut up, and I'll come to you. Go ahead, sweetheart.
I
Don't
don't.
get too explicit.
I don't want to do the call, but I'll tell you where it would lead. The thing is it took me a long time to get out of it and to mentally get myself together, and I don't want to go back to doing it. But what I will say is it would start out like you'd do that, and then I'd tell you that you were a sleazy little tramp and you were my panty waist slut and that I was going to beat the out of you. And that I would rape you with a or whatever, whatever else. More than likely, I would have you beat yourself there. You know what? I had men, like, put cigarettes out on themselves. I mean, those things actually happened. That's what men called for. And if they didn't, you'd lead them into doing that because that's how you got them to call you back. If this were really true and it really helped people get over it and just have a masturbation fantasy, then nobody would be calling back. You wanted the people to call.
What do you mean you wouldn't be calling back? What does she think you're just like, oh, thank you. Now that I've orgasmed, I have no need to orgasm in the future. What is she talking about? If she's getting these guys to blast off, she's like, I don't understand why they keep calling back. I'm telling them everything they want to hear.
So you'd build their fantasies up. Someone would call and let's say they had a fantasy about urination. You'd build it up to something totally different because you'd want them to keep calling back and then keep making your money.
Barry, let me ask Barry. Barry, look at my audience in the eye and tell them that this type of thing should not be subject to some kind of regulation. Notice I didn't say
subject to the power of the government to tell any American in the privacy of his bedroom.
Let me tell you something, Barry. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Wait a second. Wait a second. We turn, Mr. Attorney does, and said, the government shall not tell the people. Mr. Attorney doesn't realize that if we have control of our government...
Yeah, exactly, distinction. What, the guy never needs to nut again? Dude, people were like... Oh, I don't know about the 80s. I was too young for the 80s, but in the 90s, people were definitely freaky.
We're the government, all right?
Right.
We the people.
We're the government.
That's what? That is actually wrong.
That's actually right.
Because the First Amendment, all the Bill of Rights, make it clear that the majority cannot rule in certain areas. And one area they can't rule in is telling Americans what they can see in the movies, watch on their VCR, or even listen to on the telephone. That's what America's all about. That's what conservatism is all about. The individual, not the state, not the power of the majority.
We ought to grab a hold of that government again for ourselves.
I think most people who care about society, though...
Hurricane Paro, did anything this woman said, do you think you can work any of that into your promos?
Nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with people being violated. And it's not a matter of conservative liberalism. It's people who are being hurt.
Yeah.
And children and retarded
Some people
men are being hurt by
need
it. And it needs to be regulated.
The only words that have been bleeped here have been Gina's words. The only foul-mouthed person is you. I've heard 4 obscenities. You know, if we looked at soap operas...
I'm going to go under hypnosis so that I can uncover my regressed nut clarity. Or nut clarity regression, whatever the finding out, re-experiencing post-nut clarity in my past lives.
Operas. The concept of catharsis, you go to drama to get it out of your system. A lot of people use these phone calls for the drama of it. It's a safe outlet for their sexual theater.
Al,
and for you to regulate it is absurd.
I think, Al, you would agree, and I think, and clearly we agree, that there are plenty of things that are very hurtful. And to get back just for a second to the children, of course you shouldn't have sex with children and put it in magazines. But my argument is you stop it before it gets into the magazine. You go after the pedophiles, you go after the child abusers. When pornography is hung up in a workplace so that people in that workplace, women, are insulted, that they can't even deal with the work environment, that's a use of pornography that can and should be regulated under our civil rights laws.
All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Real
remedy,
Lord.
Tell you what we'll do, gang. Fun time's over, all right? We're going to take a look at the dark and dangerous side of phone sex. Then make up your mind.
I just like to get high and then do random stuff and just see how it goes.
Fine, stand with us. Randy, let's get down to the dark and dangerous side of this thing now. I understand from one of my producers you have what you think is a horror story. Let's hear if it horrifies the rest of us.
I started dating 2 of the operators in the Philadelphia area, and we started having sex on and off the line. Now, what it started to reverse was women started calling me up for sex fantasies, and I started pseudo, quote-unquote, working for the line. When I started, quote, working for this line, I slept with 10 other women.
Oh, wow.
And all this occurred within 7 weeks.
Within 7 weeks?
Yes.
Randy, you're right. That is a horror story. Horror story.
Sir, what did you do
Randy,
before you started listening to
when did it become a horror story? When you had to do the real thing? Huh?
I think for just pure freedom of degeneracy, I don't think he could probably beat the like late 60s through the 70s. That was like the complete like free love era.
I think it became the horror story when I was working, and it frightened me how much control I really
Here
had.
comes the pain.
Because I would get women who would ask me to beat them, rape them, throw them out of windows, have sex in planes, tie them up, put them in boiling water.
What are you smoking?
Put them in boiling water.
Weirdo.
Okay, let's go. Wait a second. I have a phone call.
I think I've heard Jim Cornette talk about doing most of these things that this guy's describing to Kenny Omega at different times.
Let's
Boil
go
him
to a
in
phone
oil.
call, all right?
Sell his
Jill,
sell
Jill,
his
can you
something
hear
for
me,
soap.
Jill? Jill, can you hear me? Julie,
Yes,
are you there?
yes.
All right, Julie, I understand you've had quite an unpleasant experience with your son who discovered phone sex when he was 16. Could you tell us about it, sweetheart?
Yes, he continued to make those calls for about a year and a half to the different sex lines, and eventually he ended up molesting a 2-year-old neighborhood girl.
Wow. What happened to him, Julie?
He was arrested, and he had to go to court, and because he was a minor and he had no other incidents, he did not have to go to jail or anything like that.
What do you think the correlation was there that took place between phone sex and your son's molesting a 2-year-old girl?
I don't think he would
Yeah, the 20s were probably a little bit crazier than the 80s, 90s.
have ever done such a thing like that, but by the enticements of the call and the suggestions that were made to him over the phone by these lines led him to do this. I don't think he would have ever thought of doing anything like that.
Barry, we really don't know the answer to it, pal, but, you know, a 16-year-old kid molesting a 2-year-old girl, does that bring your brain any closer to understanding that phone sex is a long way from safe
My
sex?
brain's always been close to what the real problem is and not what Bruce Taylor thinks the problem is. But I wonder, Jill, what happened after the... Julie, what happened the first month that you got these 976 numbers on your phone bill?
I originally thought they were more like a teen chat line, just other teenagers
Oh,
talking
so
to
bad
each other. I was
parenting.
very naive on the subject.
But how much did he spend on them, and didn't you raise some questions or at least try to take it out of his allowance or something to tell him that you disapproved of this?
Oh, definitely. There was lectures, there was punishments. Yes, we took his allowance.
Okay, so keep in mind, guys, this is an era where this kid doesn't have a cell phone. They probably don't even, they maybe have a cordless phone. But like managing control over a phone line was super easy for a parent during this era. Like this lady is in complete cope mode, in my opinion. Like she's a shit parent, and you know, her lack of parenting caused big problems.
Away, and after the course of about a year and a half, he finally came to the
A year and a half? She was letting him call the porn line for a year and a half?
realization that he was obsessed by dialing these numbers.
Julie,
Every
let me ask you a question. What kind of messages did he get on those calls?
Things like, your little sister is in the bedroom sleeping. Why don't you go in there and take her panties down?
Barry,
there's
you
little
know
girls-
we're starting to cross the line now, right?
I'm sorry?
I'm talking to Barry.
Well, the point is that no matter how horrendous any...
Dude, I called a 900 number WWE to try to win a trivia thing, and like my parents like hit the roof, man, as soon as that phone bill came in. This lady is a deadbeat.
Single message is, and most of these messages, I think, clearly are not about children or chickens or chainsaws, the things that Bruce Taylor wants you to believe they're all about. But I don't want the government becoming the national nanny to take the place of this woman's mothering purpose and
Oh,
instincts,
yeah, don't get
or
me
my
started on that
instincts and
story.
duties as a parent.
Yeah, we
That's
don't want the
infinitely
pornographers to
more
become our
dangerous
babysitters
and
either.
more
I'm more
troublesome.
afraid that my 14-year-old son is going to call dial-up-ram and believe in superstition. It's my responsibility as a parent. I don't want you. I don't want you.
I'm
to be,
more afraid that your 14-year-old son's going to run into my 9-year-old girl.
Oh man, I remember the Freddy Krueger hotline.
Listen, you know what? You're afraid of sex. You see the world as horrendous. That's what you do.
Wait a second.
Brucey,
We're going to meet
Brucey,
some
right.
more of these phone ambassadors, all right, the impresarios, and see what they think about all this. Stand by.
Luckily, you grew up with a laptop.
We heard one horror story that was horrible to some people, I guess. Gina, I understand you have one, too.
Well, actually, there are a lot that... These are the stories that got me to get out of phone sex. One, what happened to me and what happened to the callers. One man was very obsessed with me, and he happened to be retarded, and I couldn't handle it anymore. It was getting weird. I told him not to call me anymore. 2 weeks later, I got a call from his best friend. He'd raped a woman, and he was missing. They believed he went to Seattle to look for me. He wanted to kidnap me and take me off.
Believe that, man.
Another man was really obsessed with a woman and cut his penis off as a result of it.
Sounds like my wife.
Lock her up.
She had good reason.
Another man was being dominated and freaked out and jumped out a window. And they heard the crash and it went through. I had a suicide call on the line. I couldn't do anything about it because they have no way of
Victim of female dominance.
tracing these calls, but this kid had been calling me for a long time, and I had his phone number, so when I got off...
Yeah, every time I see that come up somewhere, I always call it, and then I'm thinking, like, how many years are they going to keep this thing going? But it's always playing Hall & Oates.
The phone with him. I called the Denver police and told them to get to his house. I thought he'd committed suicide. When the Denver police arrived, his mother was taking him to school. I don't know how old he was, but he was a minor.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you ever have sex with any of these people?
No.
Never.
No.
You stayed as fresh as the driven snow.
I met 2 people from the line, and they were people that I talked to. I mean, not all of the calls were sex. They're right.
I mean, you didn't have it,
but,
for instance, like Chubby. Where is he?
Chubby?
I mean, listen. He did all right for himself. It turned only into a horror story when he had to do the real thing.
I didn't...
To the women, it turned into a horror thing.
I didn't meet the men off the line, but it affected my sex life. I started experimenting with things that...
She started peeing on her
I had
boyfriend.
no conceivable idea existed before I started working for phone sex. And then...
Like orgasm.
Like orgasm.
Well, let me go to Joe a second. Joe, you
Tell
have
him,
a
Al.
tape. Do we have a tape of Joe's service? Huh? Let me hear that tape. Punch it up.
Hi, I'm Carol, and I sell real estate. I'm beautiful, but I usually play hard to get. That is, with everyone but you. I love to show you properties, and on the way there, I dream about that fantastic of yours. Oh, yeah. Pull over and let me...
Man.
I would never think of doing this with anyone but you. Let's get naked and...
Paro,
Yeah.
you brooked up?
Baby, let me sit
Wow,
on your...
what
Ooh, it's...
a nut
That's
killer.
enough. I don't need any more of that
That's
crap.
it, isn't it?
I mean,
Bruce
that's
Taylor.
got
Can I
more
ask Bruce
beeps
a
in it than the
question?
New York traffic jam.
Can I ask Bruce a question? Okay, there's an obviously adult woman talking about a fantasy that only the beeps turned me on. But do you honestly think the federal government ought... Do you honestly think the federal government ought to be listening to those calls and deciding that some of them are so bad in your moral judgment that people ought to go to jail for 2 or 3 or 5 years for playing it? That's the question. Adult listeners.
Well, you let him answer. It's a fair question, Gina.
Isn't Provo along the same lines of thinking as Ben that you shouldn't, like, if you're not trying to have a baby, then you shouldn't have sex?
Fair question, and CDL believes that since it is illegal, I think there's 2 points. One, it's obvious from listening to this show that the only people they can design these services for are immature adults who are a little sick and kids. And the government has an interest in protecting this kind of material from those people, and it is now a crime to put any commercial obscene or indecent phone sex services on after July 1st. It'll be a crime.
What's
and
a
yes,
condom?
the U.S. attorneys should prosecute these people. People should call up and demand that the FBI and
Does your pea brain result in not letting you take care of your pee-pee?
There are only 3 things that are wrong with that ban. 1, it's unconstitutional. 2 courts are looking at it now, and I think they're going to find it unconstitutional.
You have
It's
anything to do with it, you
un-American.
can talk 'em
It's
into it,
also
fine,
stupid.
huh?
Because it doesn't deal with the real issue, which is keeping minors out of the system. Your proposal, your solution to ban out of lives of adults
How do we keep
is
the minors
simply
out of the system? Maybe
you
that's what
block
we've
it.
got to cut.
You block it from those
out of the system. You just call up your phone company
And
and
you
you
block
ask
it.
them to block
No.
your phone
A
number.
lot of
And
people
that's
don't
it.
know that service is available.
Well, now I'm making it known to everybody that's watching.
Paro, I'm going to have to say, I think this is a real oversight on your part. I think you're overlooking that maybe the reason that Grace has kind of maybe not been as receptive to you is because you're talking about condoms. Grace doesn't like condoms. You got to drop the condom talk.
Everyone
call your
doesn't
phone
buy
company
screw.
and you block it
Everyone
up.
doesn't look at his T-shirt. I mean, a lot of people don't know that's
What
available.
about the
The
retarded
phone company sends a notice to everybody out there.
We'll
And
be right
immature
back.
audiences. What
Hold
about
on
your
a second.
audience?
We'll get to the audience. They have a hell of a lot more answers in a minute.
Some of the
Yeah, Grace does not like condoms at all. She's a raw dog gal.
Right before we go to our audience, let me
She's
let
going
me
to have to
turn
get
to an
used
old
to it because you
cantankerous
like condoms. You got to drop the
opponent of mine
condoms, brother.
for quite a long time, Al Goldstein. Al, after listening to all this, you know, look, you're a guy who's put on a few.
Or find a streamer that's into it. Maybe the tomato.
Pounds, right? You probably have a difficult time getting sex now.
I
Don't
have
you
to pay
think?
more like you do.
Doesn't that make you
She's a
think that
trad
maybe
girl.
these
She
kids,
wants-
instead
she
of
wants
using
to
the
receive
telephone, should be for phone sex, should be watching Pee Wee Herman instead of playing with their Pee-wees?
Mort, you know the issue is, and I think Barry Lynn's right on target, which is the world of sexual fantasy is a positive. You can, in any instance, come up with horror tales.
See, we're going to we can't bring back Al Goldstein, but whenever we recreate this show, we're going to use Hormaxer in this role.
Exceptional cases, anything can be misused. I'm sure what happens if somebody watches one of your shows, which, by the way, I respect you for a lot of your civil libertarian points of view, even though you're retarded in a whole lot of other points of view. But in the First Amendment, I genuflect to a high degree of imbecility. But in the area of some people watching your show, they may run amok and espouse some of your retarded points of view. That's the danger of freedom. And I'd rather
Believe me, they haven't, or you still wouldn't exist.
You
all right?
said that you care about what happens to the kids. Then why aren't you for regulating
What about
it?
the parents? Have you ever heard the word, I'm a parent, you are not. You don't know anything about
You
parents.
sit on a telephone all night. You're just Jenny. You're a rotter.
Is Julie on the line? I need her.
How do you
hung
know?
up
You're
on
a retard.
Pennsylvania.
You're boasting about your masturbatory habits. I think that's incredible. Now, what do you want, applause?
No. Pennsylvania has now taken the initiative. On July 1st of this year, the 976 sex lines and talk lines will be shut down.
No, listen, you're the Rambo of masturbation.
Randy, when's the last time you fornicated with a beautiful woman?
Lord, I still want to know about, you were talking earlier about sex with Santa Claus. Were the reindeer thrown in?
I doubt. He wants to know if in the sex with Santa Claus the reindeer were thrown in. Obviously not, because you would have gotten the horns, pal. All right? Now, let me go to this gentleman. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Mort. How are you?
Good.
Mort, I've been watching your show, and I see these 4 sharks here in pinstripes, and I think basically they're not adding anything to the American system whatsoever. I mean, no wonder why Japan and Western Europe are moving ahead of us. I mean, what kind of business? What kind of legitimate business?
They have houses. They go.
I'm an
They
idiot.
have everything. They're not worried about your problems because you're afraid to make a phone call.
I'm not afraid to make a phone call. I think the majority of people that make these phone calls are sick. They need money.
Look, we live in America. We don't live in Japan. We don't live in Russia.
Don't spit on me, buddy.
Sorry about that. Your hair looks lovely, too.
Yeah, so does yours.
I know, thanks. Listen, we're not in Russia. We're in America. We're supposed to be free to do what we want to do. You want to get regulated for everything in the world? You're out of your mind.
The people that are calling up here are sick. Instead of spending money for your rotten phone service, they should be going to psychiatrist.
By the way, I don't have a phone service, but go on.
Well, I don't know what you're doing
sitting
here.
over here.
Oh, is that right?
This guy is one of the lowest.
But
of
go
all
back to
police
Russia.
with his phone service. This guy, well known as a sleaze. That's as sleazy as they come. Ma'am,
Who, Al
go ahead.
Goldstein?
Please.
I think.
Sorry about that.
Quiet, please.
Two sharks.
Quiet,
right here.
please. Just a minute. Let me hear this lady.
Okay, I know we have a free country and everything, but I still think pornography should be outlawed, and if not, and it should be regulated. Because I mean, we're free, but we can't just go steal because we're hungry, right? So that's regulated. You can't do that. So I'm not done. I'm not done yet. Okay.
Sex is positive. Why are you relegating sex with thievery? Why do you hate
Sex is positive. It's negative as hell when it's rape.
We're not talking about rape. We're talking about masturbation.
But we're talking about cases where it's caused rape, where it's caused suicide.
She has no cause and
We're
effect.
talking about the little boy who raped the 2-year-old
Where
girl.
was the parents? How do you blame it and lay it at the doorstep of the phone sex line? You're doing it by anecdote. That's like saying if you have a drink, it's okay, but if he has a drink and crashes, all booze is eliminated. You know you're against probation.
I'm not talking about sex. So pornography is not
I'm
positive.
also against censorship.
I know.
all right?
Look at this.
But I'm not opposed to regulation. And there is a difference.
I'm not saying there should be
Sir.
regulated.
Yeah, I think, we're persecuting all these people like the guy who masturbates on the phone, Mr. Goldstein, but we should persecute, if anyone, the man who defends this slime. Thinking that
his
Mr.
name's Al
ACLU, typical
Goldstein.
liberal
No, I'll tell you
attitude.
what I defend, sir. One
Oh,
principle.
we got a
Well, you
frat
said, you
hole.
even said yourself that if it's okay, it's a publication, it's already okay. That's scum.
I didn't say it's okay. I said if it's there,
Yeah,
it's
it shouldn't
protected
be- it
by
should be
our
left alone.
Constitution.
What the
I
hell's
did
the
not
difference?
write, sir, I did not write the Constitution. 200 years
No,
ago,
but
they
you
wrote
guys
the
sure been
Constitution.
trying to
And you know what?
interpret it.
You've
be
been telling
right
the
back. Stand by. This gentleman. You, pal. You got 30 seconds. Nail him.
I have a question for Al. You deal in books, magazines. What do you think about these phone lines? Do you think they're fair? Do you think they're right? Do you like them?
Absolutely. I think Barry Lynn has stated it. Those people who want to call should. There is an apparatus to block the children.
Let's all meet down at
Bruces
the
of the world are
Prestige
against
Swing
all
Club.
sex. They hate sex. They
I think
believe
what
in
they
Jimmy
should be, Al,
Swagger.
let me interrupt
Go
you. I
ahead.
think what they should be right now is a compromise. I think you should have to special order those phones. That phone.
children can't get
Special order. No, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you there's anything wrong with consenting adults taking in an X-rated movie or thumbing through a steamy little magazine. But for God's sakes, gang, it's time to draw the line or cut the line when kids can pick up the phone, talk dirty to some little slut for a minute, all right? Tell your phone company to reach out and shove it.
Yeah, hell yeah. There he goes. Perfect. Oh my God. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, so I don't have enough time to watch another episode, but I do want to show you a couple of videos. This is an older one that came up in my feed. I don't really know why. It's 2 years old. It's the only video from this account. It's gone up by another 100 views since I saw it. It was at 1.2, now it's at 1.3K. See what you guys think about it. I might have to readjust the screen a little bit.
always has your back. And with its essential vitamins and minerals,
Hang on.
if you're looking for a liquid that's as nutritious and delicious as it is versatile, then look no further than milk. Whether you want to add to your morning smoothie or use it to brush your teeth or even in your favorite recipes, this nectar of the gods always has your back. And with its essential vitamins and minerals, you can trust that milk is always going to be there when you need it. So don't wait any longer. Get some milk today and make every meal a heavenly one.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Get Crack. Wow, 20 memberships, bro. Oh, Ozenthius. Wow. Ozenthius. Cami Cupcakes. Oh my gosh, Junk. Stinky Brew. Mock Lavelle. RZA. Wow, what a Robot Glock. What an all-star lineup. Oh, my buddy Cheeky from Lol Cow Vibes. Wow, Extreme. Oh my gosh, Pavilion Inn. Give Crack to me. Amazing. Oh, Brady O Activity. Wow, what a card pack. Thank you so much, Get Crack. I hope the next 2 minutes helps out with helps justify that with my curation skill.
Hi. Didn't see you there. I'm Bunny, milk advocate and enthusiast, and I'm here to tell you about all the things you can do with milk today. And I know what you're thinking. Milk? All you can do is drink it. And to that I have to say, are you fucking stupid? You can clean stuff up with it. It's so clean. You can brush your teeth with it. You can even rinse your dishes with it. Now that that's clean, put it up. You can even give yourself a nice foot soak.
Sorry, Joe.
That's nice. But my favorite thing to do with milk is to just plain old drink it. Is this what you wanted? This is way too much milk. It's all for you, Charlie. It's all for you. I hope you're happy, Sally.
Hey, Randy. Okay, so, what do you think? That's from, okay, that's a 2-year-old video. 2 years old.
always has your back.
Whoops,
And with its
sorry.
essential vitamins.
Oh, whoops, hang on. Oh, here we go. Tony Yeoman, collard greens. I want to watch this one because it has a background of what looks like a black Jesus, and I thought we really need to watch that one. No, that's it. That's everything that clown person ever made. That's the only video on the channel, unfortunately. I don't know what it's about. The video's 2 years old, and I don't have any other like context really for it.
I
Uncle Tommy, what we eating tonight? I got
All right, see you later, ATF Media.
beef nachos with 2 motherfucking peppers on the side.
Was that okay? So let's talk about the clown video for just a second. What did you think? Like, was that a weird experience? Like, why would that all of a sudden come up in the algorithm and get a boost of like 1,000 views within the last 24 hours on a 2-year-old video on a channel with 1 video and 200 subscribers? I don't understand.
Baby, yeah, baby, look at that, y'all. Y'all see that, man? Man, everything messing up today, man. I said $12.99. He said, I said, I wasn't afford it, man. He said, oh, my bag, I'm sorry. You get some of my thunder, baby. Oh, shit. I got that turkey chicken, 2 motherfucking peppers on the side, baby. Yeah, today was the 8 piece for $8.99. I would have got 3 8 piece till 2 10 piece. So they know me. Oh, you ain't getting $8.99? They ain't say shit to me today, man. I paid $30 for 20 pieces of motherfucking chicken. So subscribe, baby, subscribe. Like, share, comment, and all that bullshit. What's up with it? Watch this video to the end, y'all. Check out what I got today, man. I got ham, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, and 2 motherfucking peppers on the side, baby. Yeah, baby, look at that, y'all. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. And not only that, I got an apple pie. And I got, what you call this, man? A gelato. Some shit. Yeah, what you call this? Yeah. Let me open this motherfucker and show you. See that? I got this. Gelato. Some kind of ice cream, man. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Oh, shit. All right, y'all. Before I get with it, let me say these grace. Amen, amen. Ooh, man, boy. Let me wipe my face real quick, man. Man. Ooh.
Okay, that's why then, BB. That makes sense. Yeah, this is a huge plate of food. Oh my God.
All right, man, let me get with this, boy. So this is my Easter dinner. Ooh.
Look at the backdrop. Cracks me up. He's eating this huge plate of food in front of this banner of a black Jesus.
Before I get with it, I just want to say happy anniversary, Big Belly Bob and his wife, Miss Shan. 15 years. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm dedicating this Easter dinner to Angela Eats. That's right. I made all this for her. All right, y'all, man.
What about me? When does Mark Fusion get a shout out from Tony Yeoman?
I'll throw that macaroni and cheese, baby. Ooh. Oh, boy. That macaroni and cheese is good, boy. Oh.
Is he okay?
I did say Happy Easter, right? Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day. Happy 420.
I was in the Jedi's chat on Easter, and somebody in the chat kept implying that they weren't allowed to say Happy Easter, and like that was so weird to me. Like, who's preventing them from saying Happy Easter?
You know, everybody's different. Everybody don't celebrate Easter. You know, because of the paganism that's connected to it. So those who don't do Easter,
paganism.
Happy 420.
No grace yet, Avery.
Yeah. I don't really do Easter either. I don't hunt them eggs and shit either. I don't do the paganism either. I did when I was a kid. I don't now. So.
Paganism?
Oh, man. Oh, shit, boy. Oh, good, boy.
Oh my gosh, that's so much food.
Man, I'm getting some of that lemon thunder, baby.
Oh my god, all that food, and now he's drinking the whiskey.
Ooh, that cornbread with that macaroni and cheese. You stick to the top of your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yeah. Check this out, y'all, man. Y'all want to hear something crazy, man? It ain't really crazy, but it's crazy. So I went to the store the other day to try to find peach cobbler. Couldn't find the shit nowhere. Couldn't find peach cobbler nowhere, man. So I get the next best thing, a peach pie.
Okay.
You know, because my wife, she like peach cobbler.
If you're a Tony Yeoman fan, I recommend trying to find there's at least one other video in this series about this peach pie.
Peach pies, you know. I like peach cobbler and peach pies too. But I also like apple cobbler and apple pie. My wife don't really like apple, but I do. So I saw a peach pie. So I bought the peach pie. I put it in my deep freezer. I cooked it today. I said, damn, it don't smell like peaches. So I cut into it. I said, they don't look like peaches either. I said, man, I tasted it. I said, man, them motherfucking apples, man. Them apples.
Joe, it literally like exhausts me to watch these Tony Yeoman videos. I cannot imagine eating this as like my lone meal of the day, let alone as like part of a larger meal structure.
Apple pie. It was an apple pie inside of a peach box. A peach pie box. Can you believe that, man? Man, I'm telling you, man, boy.
Hey, Joe, you gotta get Grace to ask Kevin what he thinks about the new autism, the mandatory autism registry.
They just don't care no more. They do anything. They don't care no more, boy. Now, usually I take it back. But, you know, since I do like apples, man, you know, like I said, I bought the peaches for my wife.
The switcheroo.
It's all good. I can buy her a peach cobbler later. Or make it. Somebody send me a recipe, I'll make it. Thank you for the recipe, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Man, so, it's all good, man. Ooh, man.
Woo!
Man. Where's my milk, boy?
I could be wrong, but I think that Tony actually does the cooking in the house. I think. I'm pretty sure. You already know what Kevin is going to say. Suffa. That's his response to everything. You think Grace would learn a lot doing IRL with who? You can feel his butt sweating. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. Look at this huge scoop of food. Oh my God. Oh. This is stressful.
I just hate buying stuff and don't get what I expect, you know. I paid for something, I expect to get what I paid for, man. People just do anything. They just don't care no more. People just do not care no more, man. That's why I like buying clothes online. You ready for one size, they give you something else. If they don't got the size you want, instead of contacting you and then you know, we don't got that size.
It is. It's legit. It is. Every Tony Yeoman video is stressful for me to watch. It's like being on like a slow moving like platform over like a huge chasm. And it's like it's exhilarating in one way, but then it's also like extremely stressful. But that's what it feels like. I'm just slowly going across this like huge bottomless pit.
They just give you anything. They give you any kind of size. They just give you what they got. They don't care, man. And most people don't say nothing. They just accept it. Well, you know, I do, but from certain people. But you know, but I don't like it. Because it done happened to me before.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh my god. Tony.
The thing when you buy stuff online, it ain't like going to the store and buy it. Because if you go to the store and buy something, you know, you can just go back to that store that day or the next day. When you buy something online, you gotta send it back. You gotta wait until they get it back. And all this shit, man.
Man.
And they gotta expect it. They might approve it, might not approve it, and all this bullshit, man.
He scooped that whole side up in 2 forks.
Shipping, man.
Like, for real, though, how many shirts does Tony Yeoman own? Like, it's getting ridiculous at this point. The guy's budget for shirts and cloth backdrops has to be, like, astronomical.
Ooh, man, this is good, boy.
Randy, that's true. It's so much food in, like, such a limited window of time. Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. But that's also comforting to me because I know, like, okay, I know how long this Ferris wheel, I'm going to be stuck at the top of the Ferris wheel. But then at the end, he really starts to struggle, and then the stress really sets in. Think his wife's on her phone. I like that she's just sitting there, like, hanging out.
This is good, boy.
I think Tony watches TV a little bit when he looks. I think if he looks over to this side, it's his wife. This side is the TV.
I'm gonna just freeze it. Yeah, I'm just freeze this shit.
Man,
good, boy.
I'm almost in tears here. All right, guys, when we come in, the TV's over here. His wife's going to be over here. We need to come up around this way, come up behind the Jesus banner and surprise Tony because he's always strapped. Remember that. You think they have 2 tables? 2 refrigerators, 2 tables, maybe.
You know, today is Easter, Resurrection Day. It's just like Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel it. You don't feel it, man. I don't feel it no more like I used to, you know? No, I ain't about being a kid, but it's a certain spirit you can feel It's something magical on holidays like this. You can feel it.
It is easy for me to just kind of, if I get really in the zone and my eyes start to close a little bit, I can start to kind of see Tony as Captain Lou Albano.
It ain't about really being a kid. It's something else. But I don't feel that. Cause I felt it before, when I wasn't, like 4 or 5 years ago, I felt it. Mm-mm-mm.
We'll talk about when we watch Tony Yeoman eat what amounts to 100 days worth of rations in our current conditions.
Oh, that's good, boy. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I just don't feel it, man.
Mm-mm.
Tell you the truth, I know what today is, but it just feel like any other day. You know what I'm saying?
Just imagine he's Lou Albano, and instead of ranting at his wife, he's ranting at a young Shane McMahon. Let's get the magic back in, what's the holiday that's coming up? Easter.
Oh, man, yeah, boy. Well, oh boy. I got room for this dessert, man. Shit.
Bring on the
I need a
gelato.
spoon, man. Hold on, let me get a spoon.
One of my all-time favorite weed strains is Blue Gelato 41. Ugh. One time I bought an eighth of it, and it came in like a film canister. And when I opened the film canister, the nug was like the exact size of the film canister. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Easter on Amanda's Keister. I'll promote that event. Paro versus Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Shit, boy. I didn't like getting up, man.
I love the background.
Yeah, it's just right there, man. I didn't feel like getting that motherfucker, man. Shit.
Shirt matches.
Because when I sit down, I don't feel like getting back up, man.
He's got like the blood stains. Tony's got the, the dark shades, and then the little kind of rust colored blood stains.
Once I lay down, I hate getting back up.
True, Tony.
That's why I'm not lay down. And I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, damn, I gotta go pee, man. I don't want to get up, man.
Oh my gosh, guys. Holy shit. Holy shit. We can improve Tony Yeoman's life. We know a guy who spends almost his entire life horizontally, and he doesn't get up to use the bathroom. He uses a piss jug. We need to get Ben to talk to Tony Yeoman about the piss jug. Why should Tony get up just because he has to piss?
Shit, I want to get up and go to the bathroom, man. But I know I got to. Man, shit. I hate getting up going to the bathroom when I lay down, man.
Piss jug.
Put that to the side.
Are you starting to see what we're accomplishing here on Boyd? Is we're connecting all these webs. Tony has a need to urinate while laying down. Ben Thorpe can teach him the ways of urinating while lying down.
Get this piece of pie, baby. Apple pie. I mean apple pie. Supposed to be peach pie.
So, okay, just to be clear on this, okay, Tony says he likes apple, but his wife doesn't. His wife wanted peach. Mysteriously, they mix up the peach pie with an apple pie, and Tony sure doesn't seem too upset about it.
They tricked me, man. They lied to me, man. Yeah, man.
That's true. Tony already has one jug. That could be a problem. He'll have to get a yellow. Well, no, because then it's lemon thunder. So if it's yellow, he might forget in the moment.
It's all good.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Now that I don't have an issue with. I could eat that.
Ooh, shit.
That looks like about a quarter of the pie, I think. Oh my gosh, he's eating it with his hands. Oh my, wow. Wow. Dude, half that piece of pie just like vanished.
Ooh, boy, that's good, boy.
Whoo. I'm trying to follow the ley lines to set up these trade routes. Man.
Ooh, you ain't had no ice cream yet, have you? I'm gonna taste it for you. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Cause I ain't never bought this before. It's gelato, what do you call it? Shit. You ever had it before?
I know. It's for
I ain't never had it.
It's for Easter, but it's so funny.
Oh no, I haven't. I ain't never had. I see it in stores all the time, but I ain't never had it, man.
It's that rich people's ice cream.
The rich people ice cream.
I agree. I think Tony would have been good content, even if just for one, one segment.
I'm close to it. So fuck it. I'm close enough, I guess.
And if you notice, the people that Tony has collabed with, like, he shouts them out every episode. Like, not just the ones, like, where he collabs with them. He's always putting them over. Big Belly Bob, Susan Eats. I got to get the last video prepped here.
Tell you, boy. All right, man. Let me try this shit, man.
Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Hang on, what? I thought the video was ending. I was literally getting ready to prep to bring up the next video, and Tony Yeoman is bringing out a sealed container, an entire, like, tub of gelato.
They have 3 flavors. I bought all 3 flavors, man. They had this, what's this shit? This is triple chocolate. And they had a chocolate and caramel pecan type shit. And they had this old berry. Some shit, man. But, yeah. So, this shit is hard. Oh, shit.
Is there no limit to this? Come on.
It's a brownie. Is that a...
You gotta be shitting me. He's gonna eat this fucking tub of gelato.
Like this shit, boy. Look at that shit, boy. Y'all that bullshit. Ooh, boy, this is good, man.
Tony Yeoman is like an X-Man.
I'm gonna start buying these more. I'm gonna start buying these for their own shit, boy. I like this shit, man.
He does call her man, yes, for sure.
You got a brownie in here too, shit.
Let's get a brownie in here too. I can't handle this.
Ooh, I ain't gonna be able to eat all this shit either. I already ate all this and that pie, but yeah, this is some good shit, boy. Huh? I'm supposed to save it. Who said I'm supposed to save that? Shit.
Man, this guy's gotta have money, man, to eat like this.
I'm saving it because I'm damn near full. But if I wasn't full, I won't be saving this shit, man. It's a more than deep freezer, man.
Just a snack.
Man, that shit expensive too, boy. I bought like 8 of them motherfuckers, man. Cause all they had was 8 of them, right? But they had 3 flavors, you know, so I bought all of them. I said, man, if I buy this shit, and the only reason why I bought all 8,
Why?
because I bought shit in the past,
And you never liked it.
and I didn't know if I said, well, I'm gonna just buy one to see if I like it or not.
And then,
And then I like the shit, then go back. I can't find the shit no more. The shit gone. And you know what I'm saying, man? And I bought shit, and I didn't like it. But so now when I see something I think I might like, I just buy a bunch of. I just roll the dice now. You know, I might like it, might not. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like it, I can give it away. I give it to somebody. You know what I'm saying, man? But if I do like it, I bought them all up. You know what I'm saying, man? So
Captain Crunch, I think we did when.
so they had 80 motherfuckers, and I bought all 8 of them. And since I like it, I'm glad I.
If you believe Tony Yeoman, he is in the John Galt area because he's a landlord.
Bought all 8 of them because I like.
Man, when he pulled out that whole tub of gelato.
If I go back tomorrow,
what a
I
moment.
bet you they'll be gone. They won't even be there. Well, I know they ain't there now because I bought them.
Bernie
but if
Mac.
I didn't have bought them, if I wouldn't have bought them, if I go back, they would have been gone. Shit. Ooh, man. Shit good, boy.
Whew. Man.
Man. Man. I got some news.
Okay.
Well, boy. Ooh, boy, this is good, boy. You gonna like this, boy.
You gonna like this, boy.
And if you don't like it, it's okay, because I eat it.
It won't go to waste.
I ain't gonna go to waste.
I mean, what a ride. See, right now I'm over the chasm. I'm close to the edge, I feel like, so I can start to relax. I'm close to the end of the ride now. But when he brought out that July, I told you late in the video, something always happens that it like elevates my stress levels, and that gelato coming out just really caught me off guard. Whew.
Yeah, man. That's good, man. I'm getting full of shit. Damn, boy. I'm getting full of this, boy.
God damn! Well, I feel like I went through the ringer.
Oh shit! Oh man!
I have to reflect on this.
Oh shit!
Man, Tony.
Get my little control.
What do you think? How tall, Tony Yeoman?
All right, y'all, man. I'm gonna call it a night, y'all. I'm gonna go find something to do. All right, I'm not gonna sleep, not yet. I'm gonna find something else to do. Until next time, baby, until next time. Subscribe, baby, subscribe. Like, share, comment, and all that bull.
Whoops.
Yeah, old baby.
Okay, I gotta cancel. Okay, I want to watch one more video. You think he's 6 foot? I think he seems like he would be a tall guy. Okay, BYB. Not to be confused with Bring Your Own Gavel, which we found out was a thing, unfortunately. Prelim Angel. Let's see if this will bring it up. This might trigger the thing. I don't know. That's why I'm doing it at the
Ladies
end.
and gentlemen, this opening contest is scheduled for 4 2-minute rounds in the women's super welterweight division. Our referee in charge when the bell rings, Sam Burgos. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing the black trunks with red and gold trim, she stands 5 feet, 1 inch tall. She weighed in at 147 pounds. She is making her bare knuckle debut tonight, fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas. Introducing Desiree Tulit Davila. And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, she stands 5 feet, 5 inches tall. She is also making her bare knuckle debut tonight, weighing in at 149.8 pounds, fighting out of Gainesville, Florida. Introducing Angel Dakilla Keel.
Dakilla. Wow, sounds like me. It's my kind of energy.
Second out. All right, ladies. Right. Remember, get instruction on the back. Obey my command to protect yourself at all times. Your mouthpiece.
Professional debut for both women. 4 rounds, 2 minutes.
As a combat sports expert.
Each. Davila and Keel. Fight. Here we go. Davila. On her birthday, she is in the gold, red, and black. Black
Wow.
and gold for
Ooh,
Keel.
man, bare knuckle. Remember, guys.
And already bloodied up is Desiree.
Keel came out throwing those straight shots.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Advantageous. Quickest point to a target is quickest route to a target is a straight line.
She looks good. Angel Keel turned 35 5 days ago. Light on her feet at this weight. And again, just shows you the power of will, the power of belief in yourself. You can achieve anything.
She's trying to push back Davila, take over the real estate here in the Trigon. Also, Davila's a little bit wide with her shots.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A little dirty boxing going on now, Goldie.
There you go. Angel Keel said, we all have demons we deal with, but the fact I get to punch someone in the face just silences the demons a little bit more. She's done a lot of that.
God, look at her bloody hands.
She came out cursing out her opponent right away, if you notice. So, you know. I gotta be honest. They kind of gravitate to fighting, right?
Yes, they do. And it's another story, though, Paulie, of fighting saved a life. Fighting saved.
Oh my God, bare knuckle.
Davila trying to counter, landed a few.
No, Davila's hanging tough.
Yeah, 5-5 Keel, 5-1 Davila. Davila unbeaten in amateur competition with the gloves on.
Yeah, she's got that staying power, you know. Didn't have the best start, but she's hanging in there and starting to have a little mild measure of success here to close the round.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Sit down. Sir? Sit down. Deep breath. Deep breath.
Well, I think the lighter-haired girl won the first round pretty strongly.
Deep breath. Now you see what she's got? She ain't got enough.
Woo.
She ain't got enough, but we got to move her head, okay? Take a deep breath, baby. Take a deep breath.
It's hitting you from your missing fucking punches. You know you had it.
Quit missing those fucking punches, girl.
No. Just make sure you stick your jab. If you need to back out, we say the rule, right? She wants to clinch. You're going into her clinch for some fucking reason because you think you can finish this. Like I said, you know what she wants. Don't give it to her. She's going to rest heavy on you. We don't need to fucking do that at all, right? Stick it.
Do we need the Do we need the cursing?
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Where's the mouthpiece go? Let's go. Mouthpiece, let's go. Lonnie.
We're gonna use this ring for when I bring back Heroes of Wrestling.
Get that water in that corner. Let's go. Let's get that bucket up. Set. Up.
Set for round number 2. 4 2-minute rounds.
Come on, get this.
Pro debut for both fighters. Angel Keel had 6 amateur MMA bouts.
Step back.
Lost the first 3. Won the next 3.
Oh. Davila came out with a big right hand, right?
And Keel was upset about the extra time because they cleaned off the canvas, and Desiree took advantage of it, Paul.
Davila coming out using that left jab here this round.
Oh,
And has set up a
coming out
couple of
hot.
right hands. She's got to try to stay on that. As the jab is actually doing what it's supposed to. It's making Keel pull back.
Oh, they totally should
ideal
have.
error you want to cause on the jab. And then on that pullback, Davila's throwing that right hand. See if Keel ends up making the adjustment. She's trying to parry away the jab now with Davila.
Keel has
Oh, man. Bare knuckle.
Dave won, and her husband, Jose Gonzalez, in her corner.
Oh, yeah, look
here
at that.
tonight.
It's pouring.
See the other adjustment there by Keel. Now she's taking her feet with her. She's stepping back instead of just pulling back. It's getting her out of range when Davila uses that jab.
Man, that cheek wound is just...
There it is again.
At least it's under her eye, though.
2-inch reach advantage for Angel Keel. But digging deep here in the second, Desiree Davila. Her two boys, Justin and Isaiah.
Unbelievable.
Told her,
Man. What a fight.
When you fight
And
with
it's only the
gloves
second
on,
round.
But we will watch you tonight. So a shout out, family support indeed.
Oh, man, she tagged her with that straight.
15 seconds away from the midway point of this fight. Super welterweight matchup at 150 pounds.
The blood is just flying in this fight. I think both are bloody. Feels like Keel's also bloody, but can't tell if it's the blood of Davila on Keel's face.
Doc, let them work. I'm going to call time. I want you to take a look. Let me know.
I think that round is like a little bit harder to call. What do you think? I feel like I don't know who the shorter gal, I don't remember what her name is, but it seemed like she really came to life there. She put some damage on her, too.
See that right?
Every time you get happy, you're like, oh, let's do this. Stop turning into a fucking bro. And you talk to her. I know you like to fucking fight. I know you want to stand your ground and let's say fucking you can bleed the most. Okay? Stick, move, stick, move, stick, move, stick, move. Too slow already.
Haven't been keeping up with the prawn.
Get their stool. Go over here. We're going to time
Oh,
for the
man,
cut.
here we go.
Right.
Round 3.
Quick. Time. Over here. Over there.
Getting set for round number 3.
The referee Burgos is having the doctors check the eye of the cut.
Let them fight. Let them fight.
So,
It's not draining
right in
into
the
her
middle.
eyes. She's
All right,
good.
over here by her nose, and the other one above.
Let's
behind
go.
her.
Davila's face is full of blood. It's only slightly you can start the round.
Round number 3 of 4. 2 minutes. Professional debut. Angel Keel in the black and gold, red and black for Desiree Davila.
Hey, Davila, man, she's trying to work her way back in this fight, and she has done that. This fight has, the way Keel started it.
Nina
looked like
Pipes,
she was
any
on her way to
relation
get
to
the stoppage
Wesley
quick.
Pipes?
Now, Davila has brought her way back into this fight.
Did I just see Angel Keel throw a Superman punch? I did. I thought so.
Your eyes are online, too.
That's right. Anderson Silva would be proud.
Davila just trucking along, though.
Yeah.
None of that fancy stuff with Davila. She's now started to back
Oh,
up. Keel's weighing
man.
that right hand more consistently as well.
When she was 11, she said, I saw the sport, I knew it was for me. Has had competitions, many different venues as an amateur, both of them making professional debuts
Taro,
tonight.
you're on Flow State
Keel in her
server.
3 wins, the final 3 of her amateur MMA victories, defeated Miranda Barber in one.
Yeah, definitely slowing down.
See if mouthpiece is out.
Mouthpiece. Your mouthpiece. Over here. Over there.
Come on, ref. Let them fight.
She's bloodied
Let them
up,
fight.
but far from finished.
Okay, you see?
The stacking I don't know if I was getting if I didn't know what her moderation situation was, but whenever she said she wanted to make Forbidden IRL with me, I put in the chat. I told her I was gonna put her in that dog cage, but I don't know if it went. I couldn't tell if it went through or not. Nobody No one reacted to it.
Let's go. Behead it. Behead it.
Time. Time. Step. Stop, stop, stop. Take a look, Doc.
Come on, ref.
See, Doctor's down. Look at closer at that cut. She's got 2 of them, Goldie, like you said.
We're good?
Yep.
All right, good deal.
And
She's
the
fighting.
knives, so
She is fighting.
she's fighting.
Knives starting to swell shut, but she says, let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, let him fight, dummy.
Right? They're almost home. I know, almost. 30 more seconds, they'll be 75% of the home, right?
I'm sure with both of these women making their long-awaited professional debuts, it's going to feel like a 12-rounder.
Ooh, that was a haymaker, man.
Desiree Davila. And you can see the damage on the left eye of
You seeing that Chuck Liddell overhand right? Wow.
She's not getting out of the way of those wide right hands.
Ooh.
Does throw that right hand with great precision. Comes right down the middle with it.
Oh, she's hitting her every time with it, right on that cheek.
It's one of those fights you might end up seeing a rematch. These girls are both on
Ooh, going after the bell. I figured it got picked up by the auto censor because I thought somebody would at least have said something, called me a degenerate or something for saying I was going to put her in the dog cage.
Davila trying to set up with that.
Yep.
Oh, you see there, she actually came with the over the top right hand, then she turned it into like a sort of a right hand jab. And Keel makes that mistake of going straight back. I mentioned that before. She was pulling back. She takes her feet with her. You can get away from that first jab. But if the problem going straight back is if the fighter continues that combination.
I think the short lady won the last round pretty solidly. I still don't know about round 2. I don't know.
That you're gonna eventually get caught. So you don't always want to go straight back all the time. You want to duck or dip to the side or even step around.
And I know it's very much a Muay Thai term.
I want this more than fucking
Obviously an MMA term, but
well, then let's see it, dummy. Why don't we? You're saying that while you're sitting on your thing, and then you're going out here and you're barely throwing any punches.
2 minutes remain.
Last round coming up. Step back, step over here in the corner. Fight!
33rd birthday for Davila tonight. Angel Keel, 35 years old, fighting out of the Swamp Academy. Of course, it's the Swamp Academy in Gainesville, Florida. Quick hands and accurate to start this final round for Angel Keel.
Didn't she have like the guy that kept cursing at her, the blonde?
She's going back to those little short straight shots. And I think that's where she had the best success early in the fight, with those little tight straight shots. Because Davila, as much as she has the fighting spirit, she's a little bit wide at times with her shots. Yeah.
Great way to get things started. Oh, big right hand.
Another wide right hand. Vance Keel just doesn't see those right hands.
Great way to get things started for these 2 women in their professional combat debut.
Would you feel confident if you were either of these women that you were winning the fight? I feel like definitely not. I feel like there's 2 rounds that for sure went one, they split the first and the third, but the second I think is up in the air. So I would think the fight is like very much up in the air at this point, even if it goes to decision.
Now Davila's throwing like a baseball now. Yep, she's whipping those big shots in there.
She's doing her J.D. Burns / J.D. Drew.
Yes. Oh, another one. Keel's taking some good shots. I think Keel cut on that side of the left eye as well now. It was bound to happen with all these right hands she was taking there.
There's been no knockdowns. There won't be a 5th round.
Also, just in case she sees this, don't beat me up for calling you a dummy. I was just heated in the moment.
Tonight, but there might, on the scorecards, be need for one the next time. 30 seconds.
I don't want to have to end up on Ruby's porch for help.
You made a good point, because I said a couple of rounds ago there might be a real rematch of this fight. This is a good one. Big competitive fight between two fighters who really want that win. Wouldn't mind seeing it again. They might need a 5th round to decide this one the next time.
Absolutely. Both women have landed.
Ooh, she's got above
have
her
been
eye now,
landed
too.
upon. Final seconds of this 4-round
Good
matchup.
Lord, man. What a war.
And they're going to throw to the finish.
If they do rematch, Keel's going to have to make adjustments to that right hand.
Yes.
Dude, that short chick, man. Tough as fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. All 3 judges see the contest 39-37, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Angel Da Killer Keel.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Well, it was a great fight anyway. All right, I gotta go. Thank you for hanging out for this assortment of, what did we watch? Morton Downey Jr. Then we watched the Milk Clown. Then we watched Tony Yeoman, and then we watched the Bloody Women Fist Fight. That's a pretty good lineup, I think. All right, I'm gonna go. I will be back tomorrow for Primetime with George Dorunda. Friday for Memphis. I don't know what else is gonna happen, but anyway. I will see you guys later. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for all the memberships. Get Crack. And then, oh man, who's the other guy? Oh no. My weed brain is locking up. Let me see if I can scroll back up. I can't remember now. All right, well, anyway, whoever you were, that's not that I don't remember.